It's the echo in your brain. You know you can't sustain the misconceptions in your mind. One day you'll see for sure what all of this was for. Then you can leave it all behind. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. In the beginning was found this thing that cannot speak. It's how we all truly learn. It's only ever attained when one lets go of fear. So don't let wisdom pass you by. The journey begins. I am the one here that will show the proof. I am the one here that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. It was there all along. How could I never have seen this thing that's danced all around? It wasn't until I left behind the things I believed that I could see things so clear. The journey begins. Become the one here that will show the proof. Become the one here that is searching for the truth. Become the whispers of the logic in their minds. Become an agent of the Logos. Become an agent of the Logos. We are the agents of the Logos.
We live?
And we are live. Welcome everybody. It is Wednesday. Yes, Trivium Day. But I'm guessing we're talking about the Psy-Op, the shape Psy-Op that everybody's been involved in. We've been trying to say for quite a while, get people prepared for this. We're not in it for the shape. It's a meaningless conversation. It's a distraction. It's a way of people not addressing the very issue that they should be talking about, and that's finding truth, proofs in reality. They're there for everyone. It's about time people started looking at it. It's okay to make people aware. I think what we've been doing over these past few years is trying to prepare people to let them know that the Psy-Op that you're in, really, it's just a distraction from reality. I mean, you can think you're in whatever, and this is your own paracosm that you've made up. It's your own reality. You've been in this arena and you've been going backwards and forwards with liars, and you've been trying to appease liars and their ideas of their mental afflictions that they have, and you have to talk with them to allow them to have their mental afflictions. Like, everybody's a snowflake now, and you've got to be very careful about who you say what to and what things you say to certain people, even when you're saying not those certain things to those people, but they misrepresent what you say. I think it's about them because they've got a fucking massive ego, and they just presume that everything that you're talking about is about them, when they're really nobodies that you couldn't really give a shit about. But other people like to inject themselves into everybody else's lives. You know what it's like. People like to get up in everybody else's business. Everybody always wants to talk about themselves and how they were the ones that this issue happened to. So there's a group of people that have got really, really upset about a geometric statement. Now, we had a group of them. There's a lot of them. A load of grown men travelling round in like a pack, handing out their paralogisms, poisoning wells, just being like Grinches come Christmas time. It's nice for them to do that. They get off at it. But they're doing that, and they're going round saying that everybody else is a liar. Just don't actually address the issue that we're talking about. Just point fingers at everybody else. Start accusing everybody else of being liars. That way, that if anybody ever was to turn their finger round and point it at them, they'll say, "Oh, no, we called you a liar first. You're the liar. We said that you were the liar." And that's the way that these people have always worked. Except it wasn't this group of people. It was another group of people. But they're all like the same type of people. The ones that accuse you of something, but then aren't very, very specific about what they're saying. They just say you're lying. And you never know what it is that you're meant to defend against. Not that there could ever be a defence, because nobody ever tells you what they're lying about. Well, we've got Brian's, I mean, he can't vocalise himself in here. All he can ever do is just talk shit, like farmers' boys. Slinging shit and making videos when we're here for conversation. So we're going to be going over a video made by Brian's logic. We'll see how much logic there is, or whether it's just like Brian thinks he can have his own type of logic, when there's only really one logic. There's only one mathematics. You can't have different mathematics, you can't have different logics, and you can't have different geometries. Geometry is basic. It's about straight lines and planes. Now that's what we're using. And we'll stick to that. We'll stick to the definitions of geometry so everybody can be absolutely sure what we're talking about. Just so there can be no lying. All truths will be exposed within geometry and mathematics. And that's where we'll try and keep it. Keep that geometry and mathematics related to reality at all times. If I ever stray from any of that, any of you guys, let me know. Because I wouldn't want anybody to call me a liar, or calling any of us liars. Or maybe even worse names than that, right? Not just blatant slander, but, full-on ad-homs. And yes, we do have some women in here, Nathan, if you'd like to come in and slag the women off. I know you like to get off at that sort of thing. There's quite a few of other people as well. Blue Marble Science, he likes to come in and shout at women. Well, we're here, we're open. Anyone, anytime you wanted to come in, call a women a bitches and stuff like that. Adam, you're quite welcome. I'm sure it'll go down really well with the family, right, at Christmas time. Come and call everybody names and get off at it. Help Nathan Oakley get off by calling people names. Grubby man. So, yeah, we're going to go over we've got the... shall we do Emma's video first? Shall we put that one out?
Yeah. That one's good. I highly recommend it.
Okay. So this is Emma. Oh, wait a minute. Just do it straight from here.
Of dealing with a liar and a misrepresentative. We've got no desire to deal with you. Do you understand?
Lying about what, Adam?
Why the hell is someone from Flat Earth Society saying all this? Adam, you're Flat Earth Society, mate.
You and your snidey ways. So we'll address anything where you misrepresent us. But as for wanting to have a debate with you, an argument, nobody does.
No one gives a fuck about you, Adam. Seriously, you're a little chemist guy who gets arrested everywhere he goes.
Sorry, what are you adding?
And doesn't know what he's talking about.
Sorry, dead air. You are literally
what
just adding...
What am I adding? I'm doing what you are doing.
What, demonstrating the use of an... Sorry, that's not what's just happened. What's just happened is...
Don't you like it?
Excuse me.
Do you not like it?
I'm trying to respond to you, dead air. You're just talking straight through me. Dead air. You're just talking through me.
Behave like a grown-up.
Yeah, you're talking through everybody, dead air, and telling them not to behave like children. That's another ad hom. What you've just done is attacked Adam and me, and then Adam again with ad homs. Now you're talking through me as I explain your logical fallacy. Now you're talking through me, very rude, like a child, like a belligerent child, like a spoilt child. So do you want to shut up?
There's no ad homs allowed in here.
She's being...
No,
she's demonstrating... I've got to mute you, dead air. You won't shut up. I'm trying to explain that you've used an ad hom fallacy 3 times and you won't shut up.
Nathan.
So now I've got to serve a mute dead air again because she can't shut up. No, I'm trying... Shut up! Shut up! Everybody else, can you shut the fuck up? She's used 3 ad homs. She didn't disseminate our argument. She didn't respond to our argument or refute our argument in regards to the use of angles when finding your position at sea. That's an argument. What she's done is accused Adam of being Flat Earth Society and told him he gets arrested. That's personal attacks. So, one of the spastics from Bev's show has decided to come along with the ad homs. The thing that Bev's got an issue with, he thinks he's getting attacked personally. Well, this fucking stupid bitch attacks everybody personally. She's not adding anything to the discussion or argument that Bev thinks he's going to have with us. He's not. Do you have anything to add in regards to the use of angles, dead air?
Let it all out, Nathan.
Dead air. Dumbo doesn't understand when his name's not being used. Dead air.
Okay. Now I've made my point to the rational people who will hear this afterwards.
You used ad homs. You didn't make any fucking points, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, which is exactly...
You did not make any points. You accused Adam of being Flat Earth Society. That's not a point. That's not an argument. You're thick.
My point is you're doing the same thing. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, excuse me. When I describe the use of elevation angle measurements and the qualification my sister had to receive to go out to sea so she didn't die. Oh, there she is again. The belligerent, spoiled bitch. Excuse me, daddy issues. The adults are talking. That means you're not. While I explain that I haven't just called Bev a spastic, I've described how the use of an angle to find your position on a flat plane when measuring it to the star, that's a singular angle at that point, is useful because it will be used, the angle singular, to support your position at sea on a plane. Now that's an argument. That's not me just calling him thick like you've just called Adam Flat Earth Society. Do you understand how I do have an argument here, dead air?
If you think you do, then Nathan, I hope you sleep well.
Right, that's an excellent rebuttal. If I think that an elevation angle measurement will find your position at sea...
No, Nathan,
no,
you
I know
don't
that.
get my point. You don't understand, do you? It's okay.
You didn't let me reiterate my point. You immediately started talking through it. I do have a point. The point is elevation angles. The ones that Bev say you can't do anything with. You can't do anything with an angle. An angle will be acquired to a star and its GP on a plane. That's an argument, not just an ad hom. The fact that Bev says you can do nothing with an angle, completely contradicting the process of acquiring an angle to a star, is my argument. The fact he doesn't understand it,
my point,
the fact that he doesn't understand it means I can call him by demonstration a spastic. It's not an ad hom, it's a demonstrable fact.
Okay. Okay. You just, whatever, Nathan.
Not whatever, you stupid bitch. That's my fucking argument and demonstration of him being a spastic. Unlike you just claiming somebody getting arrested. That's not an argument, bitch.
No?
No, it fucking isn't, you stupid daft cow. No, calling somebody Flat Earth Society isn't a fucking argument. It's an ad hominem attack.
Oh, it's okay for you.
No, I'm not ad homing him when I demonstrate that he doesn't understand what you can use angles for and then call him stupid. That's me demonstrating him stupid with an argument, you stupid bitch. You understand? It was an argument against his assertion that you can do nothing with an angle. You can. You can save your life at sea by measuring that angle to the star. Yeah, that's what you'll do. Measure angles. It's an argument, unlike what you had, dead air.
I'll leave you to do that while I...
Yeah, well, go fuck off to the rest of the spastics then. You don't need to announce it, just piss off.
Thank you very much, Emma. I think everyone can hear quite clearly there that Nathan was ad homing the shit out of a lady. Sorry, a lady. Out of Emma.
That was sad.
Right?
That was a sad show of affairs.
Where was his argument? What was Nathan's argument? That you could save lives by measuring an angle at sea. He thinks that's an argument? The fact that you can measure an angle on a boat. Is that an argument? Really, Nathan? You fucking... That's stupid. And I don't want to start with this fucking name-calling shit because there's no need for it. Nathan doesn't seem to be aware that he's ad homing by calling somebody a stupid bitch. That's not a constructive argument, Nathan. Why can't you see it?
I'm sure mommy would have been proud of you listening to that. Shame on you.
Paige just posted something in the chat, and it basically Nathan gets off on it.
Yeah.
And he admitted it, that he enjoys behaving like that.
To anyone. Doesn't really matter, but particularly women. He jumped on that really quickly.
Mm-hmm. And it's this is his living.
Mm.
So he's here to make money for his family. And that is how he chooses to do it.
Yeah, you can't threaten a guy's monetary for his family, can you? I mean, that's what Nathan does. You can't threaten that. If you tell him he's wrong, then you're threatening his livelihood. He's got a defence. He needs it for his kids. He has to be like that to support his family.
Oh, you know, they're going over these videos lately where they've been going over like, what's that, Brian Cox?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, discussing him and his background. And they were making a big deal about his past and, you know, all the stuff personal to him. Does nobody know that Oakley comes from a family that work for the BBC in the UK? No?
He had acting training, didn't he? Isn't that where he started
now
off
you
in
know.
film?
He wanted to do presenting, but he wasn't good enough.
Right, so let's
anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've made my point. I now have no more to say on it.
Yeah, we don't need to be carrying on about how Nathan treats women. Like, just let you know, if you're
it's
part
not just
of
women.
this thing, well, I know it's everybody, but
it's
in
everybody.
particular, right? If Nathan Oakley is being a gatekeeper within this Superman flat Earth debate thing that he's setting up, this is the way it's been going. This has been dictated to. This is the way this arena needs to be set up for Nathan Oakley to be able to survive. He needs all women to shut up, bitch. And he needs anybody who has an inkling of a questioning about any of their non-arguments. He needs them to be silenced. All within this Psy-Op of shape, where they just tell everybody they don't understand geometry. You don't understand logic. You don't understand angles. You don't understand what horizontal is. Like, as though everybody else is, because he does literally say it. Calls everybody spastics, which isn't very nice at all. It's rather demeaning. And I don't know whether he's going to try and have a different definition of what it is. But, you know, that's Nathan Oakley. He gets off at it. And that's the guy that's setting up this narrative that's around this arena. The Psy-Op. He doesn't want you looking at certain things. Now, what are those certain things? Look no further than the things that he doesn't want you to talk about. Doesn't want anybody talking to us, for starters, and that's wise, because trying to merge this shape with reality through geometry will make you go mad. Obviously, it's been happening to the Blue Marble scientists. We've slowly watched them all descend. And now Nathan Oakley has started to join in on his little downward spiral. It never ends well, this. Trying to hide things. It's like a compulsive liar. Once they get caught in that spiral, they can't seem to get out. When it just the simple truth was probably what started it. Avoiding a simple truth. Probably some sort of a contradiction that exists. We've been in this, me and Emma, watching people. Now, a lot of people think that we've been in it because we are, well, I've not been a flat earther, so what am I doing in it? Sorting arguments, sorting truth statements, and been saying these truth statements to people, and then we've been watching how they react. That's all we do. I mean, now, it makes no difference to me what anybody else thinks about anything. I just like watching the reactions that people have to certain statements. Doesn't make any difference. Doesn't mean anything. There's no win or lose in any of these situations. It's just talking to people, watching reactions, making people think. If there's something wrong with that, you should be asking yourself, exactly what's wrong with it. Trying to get clarity within advanced simplicity to break stuff down simpler so people can understand it. Now, there is we had the black swan that QE brought round, the modus tollens. I think modus tollens and logic, that was the eye-opener for me. But because of the fuck-up that QE made of it, or QE and Adam, maybe Nathan Oakley, I don't know. I don't know who had anything to do with the actual modus tollens, why it was set up like that. But it was simplified. We've got a very much simpler statement to help people understand what a modus tollens is. Ever since then, there seems to have been a thing that we've noticed where there's like a distraction. Like, why don't people show people how to make the modus tollens for themselves? How to do that process? Why do people have to take control of it? Why do they have to make it their thing? When really, like logic, like mathematics, isn't there for somebody to lord over anybody else. It's there for everybody to use. Whether you choose to use it and understand how mathematics works, how logic works, how geometry works, it should be no contest. It's a very simple process and it should be communicated as such. There shouldn't be name calling involved in it, which there obviously has started to be that. It's drama. It's an entertainment, and once it becomes entertainment, people have a vested interest in the entertainment. The cult of personality starts to exist. That's definitely happening right now, especially when people start calling themselves supermen. Like, that's fictional also, not real. Superman is in a film. It's for entertainment's sakes. Now, if that's what people want out of all of this, like a live action role play thing where people can take on characters and, you know, like, all, we know that exists within this framework, but that's not us. You can keep your fantastic entertainment purposes and all of that, but don't try and bring us involved in it. You just make yourself look like dicks. We've got another one there, Wally. We watched whatever you were doing, Wally.
Wally. The clue is in the name, Wally.
There should be name calling. What are you talking about, Wally?
Hang on, how come all of a sudden Wally is now on the same team?
He's always been on Nathan Oakley's team.
There's Nathan, and look, Blue Marble Science. It's like,
yeah,
all of a sudden they're together on this one issue. Bit weird, isn't it?
They have common enemy. Oh, this is alliance.
It is, yeah.
Somebody say that Arwin said I've got mental issues.
I would say that Arwin has mental issues because his housekeeping question, any distance to the sun, is, I think, most dumbest question I ever heard. Because, of course, there is some distance to the sun, but he is insisting that there is no distance to the sun. So let's, I would advise him to check his own sanity if he is inventing such stupid questions.
I would say rather Wally ought to be ashamed that he sits there behind and supports that behaviour.
He's part of Team Oakley. He loves it. He's like there with Nathan Oakley. He's going, oh, Nathan's getting off at this. Oh, I like that. Right.
Yeah, and also I have to say, Arwin, okay, it is quite clear to everybody that there is an issue with Arwen. You just have to watch some of his live streams and his behavior. The fact that they have him on a panel and support him and prop him up instead of being friends and helping him. Personally, I find that disgusting. Might just be me.
Right, well, tonight, thanks for joining us. Quite more people. Don't forget to share it out. Let's get more people realising this fucking shit argument. Well, it may not be. I mean, who knows? I have to go over this point though, right? The statement was made, even sung about within a Buster song. The fact that you can do fuck all with an angle. An angle. Like, whenever you grab hold of a sextant, right, it's an angle measuring device, and you just measure an angle. You've got one angle. That's it. Much the same as any angle measuring device. If you only have one angle, you don't have a triangle. You don't have the length of any of the sides. You've just got one angle. You've got a part of a circle. Because that's what it is, really. An angle is just a circle. Start at one point, one radius, and then the portion of the turn to go back to another straight line radius point. That's the angular measurement. That's how you measure an angle. It's very simple. It's just an angle. Wally, what are you talking about? Like, it's a very simple statement, right? You can do fuck all with an angle. It's nothing to do with a ruler. It's nothing to do with a wheel. The statement is you can do fuck all with an angle. Now, it's a geometric statement, obviously. You can't perform trigonometry with an angle, because you've only got an angle and you need a triangle for trigonometry. So the statement, it's very simple. It's a geometric statement. Now, there are a group of people that think that that statement within geometry, that is obviously a truthful statement, was about them. Like Wally as well, he'd probably think it was all about him. Whether they're that vain or whether their egos are that massive that they get bruised when people hear that, right? So they heard it, whether it was in a Buster song or whether I was making a conversation about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Nathan might have just heard it. But it's been said for quite a long time because it's a geometric statement of truth. Now, I find it really strange that they want me to concede and take back a geometric statement. Like, you could possibly do something with just one angle within geometry. That's people trying to tell you they're wizards. They're trying to tell you they can perform magic. It's impossible. You cannot do anything with one angle. Whether you want to misinterpret the way the words come across, that, well, you can measure it. No, that doesn't really make any difference. It's just an angle, a third of a triangle. Triangle suggesting try 3 angles. Just one of them is all we've got. An angle. It's a very, very simple statement.
And you can even name it differently, like latitude or longitude, whatever. but this is the same angle. You just name it differently. So, but this is same angle because latitude is your name. So if Nathan was talking about that doing something with the angle by name, no, it is still the same angle and nothing more. Just an angle. Named differently. Simple. So his argument is just bunk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know there was an argument, right? It was just like, you're a liar. And Brian's logic came in and called us a liar multiple times last night because of this statement about an angle. Now, they've got butthurt because they say, well, within celestial navigation, we can. Wally's in the chat saying the same sort of thing at the minute. Blue Marble has said the same sort of thing. So it's almost as if the Blue Marble scientist team have joined forces with the Flat Earth debate team to be able to override a geometric statement and want me to concede that you can do something with an angle. Just one angle. No lengths of any sides, no other angles, no nothing, right? Now, there's a video. I'm just trying to find the video and we will go over it. It's Brian's logic. I don't know whether it's his particular logic. Copy link. Let me see. I've not seen this, but you can actually see the thumbnail. So everybody aware of this video? Brian's logic on YouTube. He's made this video. It's got hashtag Bev, hashtag not thinking server. It's called the On the Level Discord server. On the level, meaning just truthful statements. Keep it nice and even. No need to get all angry or upset or anything. Let's keep it on the level. So this is Brian saying that we're not thinking. Now, right, remember, please, everybody remember that this is all about you can do fuck all with an angle. So here we go. This is Brian's logic. 40 odd minutes.
Well, how are you doing? Okay, this is a video I really don't want to have to be making.
By the way, Brian and others are assuming something else. It means this nautical miles per degree. So this is not just an angle. So your statement is holding, because if they are talking about distance, they are assuming distance of one of adjacents. So it is not single angle. They cannot deny that, but they still call you a liar, and they deny themselves, but by using this distance, whatever it is, but still it is distance plus an angle, so not single angle.
Well, I'm still waiting to see. He's gonna prove me a liar, because I've been lying, saying that you can do fuck all with an angle. Apparently, Nathan Oakley said it. There's quite a lot of people that have been calling me liars blatantly. So this best be a bloody good proof that I've been lying about you being able to do fuck all with an angle. Right. Are we, let's see. Here we go.
Well, how are you doing? Okay, this is a video I really don't want to have to be making, and really I shouldn't have to be making it, but I kind of feel like I have no choice, because I've tried to explain some of these things to people on the Try Thinking server, what I call the Not Thinking server these days. I've actually been over there a couple of times, maybe 2 or 3 times, trying to explain this to Bev and other people. And even the last time I was there, I did a presentation on it. Now, Bev has claimed that nobody's explaining it to him. Now, it's a bit strange considering I've been there a couple of times. So how could you claim nobody's explaining it to him? I think it's more of a case of Bev is claiming no one's explaining it to him, but Bev actually just doesn't understand it and won't admit it. Or he's just straight out being dishonest. It's only one or the other. Either way, it doesn't matter. During this video, I'm going to try and just stick to 3 topics, right? 3 things that they're not understanding on the Not Thinking server. What's happening over there is Bev has a closed mind for whatever reason.
Don't bother poisoning the well. Go on, keep going, Brian.
He tends to dismiss things, and then other people around him dismiss things, and he gets things wrong, but people assume that he's right and just follow his lead when he's wrong. But it really doesn't matter. I'm going to go through 3 things here that's going to point out 3 things that they've been talking about recently that are wrong. Bev, as I said, claims that
we've been talking about that
nobody
wrong.
Explains it to him. No one will explain it to him. You know, when someone does try and explain it to you, Bev, you have to actually pay attention and try and learn about what they're saying and not be dismissing of what they say when they're trying to explain it to you. This is not what you're seeing on the screen, just for this just one section. What you're seeing on the screen is not me. It's not Brian's logic. This is celestial navigation. This is what it's about. This is how the process starts, is what the process is.
Right. So it's not him. It's not Brian that's doing this. He's handing it off already. It's got nothing to do with Brian. He's just doing what he's told. There's some sort of shadow giant that's handed him this, right? Now, obviously, he's going to completely disregard the fact that Bev says you can do fuck all with an angle. And if you notice, on the screen, already drawn on GeoGebra, on graph paper, right, with squares all over it, he's drawn a rectangle. And then he's put a diagonal, right? Does anybody see anything here that may look a little bit suspicious? I'll give you a hint. In each corner of the right angle of the rectangle, there is a right angle. So there's 4 angles there. And then he's put a diagonal, which makes another 2 at each end. Right? So already there's multiple angles there. Now, I won't say that Brian's being dishonest about it at all, but there's definitely more than an angle. I don't know whether Brian can't see it because it's not him that's done it and he's just been told what to say. But I hope this isn't his approach to tell me that I'm lying when I say you can do fuck all with an angle. Because that would be very dishonest and sort of like blind of Brian. I hope not. I hope that's not what he's doing.
Okay, this is the flat earth debate argument because it proves that sea level is horizontal. It proves the earth has a horizontal baseline.
What? It proves that sea level is horizontal, did he say?
Yes.
That's a pretty big claim.
It's horizontal, yes.
Okie dokie.
Horizontal point. Average horizontal point.
Yeah, sea level goes up and down. It's measured on a vertical datum. How can that be horizontal? What are you talking about, Brian? But okay, you know, we don't want to take him away from his fact that he's trying to prove Bev a liar because Bev said you can do fuck all with an angle, and Nathan Oakley got all super triggered about it, and now Brian's here making a video that he doesn't want to make. Somebody else should be making it, surely. It's not even Brian's stuff, he's telling it.
Right? You would think that Bev would be interested in this, but obviously not. He's not interested in anything that's going to prove the very thing that he says he's trying to prove to the world, or whatever.
I've already proved it to myself,
to say when
Brian.
it comes to level being horizontal. That's what he's saying. He's trying to say that, like, that is true, right? No, I don't disagree with that. Level is horizontal, right?
Yeah, we have a proof.
Proves it on the large scale. Yet Bev wants to stick with water levels that are 200 and 300 meters long of water level, whereas you're talking about thousands of miles of the ocean being shown to be, you know, having a horizontal, you know, so the base.
What's he talking about? That's ridiculous. How does it prove that the water level in the sea is horizontal? Have you heard of tides and waves and stuff? What the fuck's he talking about? I hope people aren't realising this. People don't actually believe what Brian's talking about here, do they? Okay, let's carry on.
Level of the ocean, the sea level of the ocean being shown to be horizontal. So you would think that Bev would be interested in something that would prove it, right? Not only just that water levels are on at all sizes are establishing a horizontal, but that horizontal and level
at rest, for fuck's sake. When's the ocean ever at rest? Ask yourself that one, right? Brian, wake up. I wish life was that simple, right? But it's not, is it? It's not at rest. There's tides.
Are the same thing. You would think that he would be interested in something like that, but he doesn't seem to be. Either way, I'm going to do this video anyway. I'm not going to be calling names, so you can't dismiss this video on someone calling you a name. I won't be shouting, so you can't dismiss it on someone shouting. I won't be saying anything that is going to involve me attacking anyone personally on the Try Thinking, right? Not thinking server. I won't be doing that. So there's no reason to dismiss it, right? If you're interested,
we're looking at it, Brian. We're doing that.
Try Thinking server.
We're here looking at it, Brian.
Then you
keep poison in the well though for a bit. Go on.
And you'll do a bit of research after I've shown what I've shown, and you'll find out.
Nathan Oakley taught him this.
If you don't do the research and you just dismiss it based off of your attitude towards me or your personal feelings towards me or whatever, then that's not on me. Okay? Nothing to do with me. Okay. So
it's this is to do with you anyway, right? Brian.
I'll keep it simple, right? Here you have a box, right? This is something Bev does not understand, right? This green dot here is the observer. This red dot here, let's call it the celestial body. Right? After the corrections, index correction, height of void correction, blah, 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 are done, right? What you end up with is an angle, right? You end up with an angle that has a perpendicular. So this green line here is the observer's zenith, right? That's their zenith, right? The blue line, right, is horizontal, sea level, right, making a perpendicular with their zenith. The purple line is their angle to the celestial body. Now, the angle is 38.65, right? So if you take that from 90, which is your perpendicular, you end up with a zenith angle. This is the angle off of the zenith to the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle here.
Did he just say a right angle triangle?
Yes, we have two of them. to be honest.
Right.
So,
where did that come from?
He just draw it. So
it just magicked a triangle, right? So from measuring an angle, Brian has already magicked 2 right-angled triangles, right? Where did they come from? Where did these triangles come from? He measured an angle.
He created based on that 2 triangles. So,
I guess that's what I'm lying about, right? When I say you can do fuck all with an angle, included in that is magicking 2 fucking right angle triangles. So is that where I'm lying? Am I a liar because I didn't anticipate Brian magicking 2 fucking right angle triangles? And did Brian think that he could actually just slip that past and think that no fucker would notice? Brian, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? How stupid do you think people are?
Yes, for me, this is what fuck all means here. You can even make something else, maybe construct a car with an angles. So I don't know what you can do with angles. Many things. You can be very creative. So Brian constructed 2 triangles, right angle triangles. Good.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's where Bev's lying then, right? Because Bev didn't imagine that Brian would be conjuring up right-angled triangles where there was none. It's an impossible feat. I don't know whether anybody would actually think that I'm a liar for not noticing that. Or is it that, right? When I said you can do fuck all with an angle, why did Nathan Oakley get pissed off? Did he think I was talking about his argument, or do you think I was just literally saying that you can do fuck all with an angle? Childish fuckers. People are fucking delusional. You can't see what's going on here. Brian, who put you up to this? This has got nothing to do with the celestial navigation argument, right? It's a geometric statement of truth. The fact that you have actually done that exposes you as making shit up. Somebody's told you to do it, and that's how celestial navigation works. Brilliantly. Celestial navigation works on them magicking triangles from thin air. I hope nobody's building a proof based on this, because it's failed at the beginning. You've magicked a triangle that doesn't exist from an angle. Why? I don't know. Brian's just done it. Brian's called me dishonest. Brian's called me a liar. I'm fucking disgusted. What the fuck are these people doing? I'd say, if that's what Nathan Oakley made that video about, if that's what QE made that video about, this fucking thing, well, they're fooling everyone. They're trying to say this is a proof that the sea level is horizontal. What the fuck? I don't know whether I can be arsed going over this. I feel fucking cheated. I feel like people are slandering me purposely. And hope that their fucking little fans are hoping that they're doing well. Don't misrepresent what I'm saying. When I say you can do fuck all with an angle, it means you can't conjure up triangles from nowhere. Now, it's no wonder that Nathan Oakley kept fucking jabbering.
That's what I was going to tell him, but he wouldn't let me speak.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let me get it out. So that's simple. This would have been all avoided had I been able to say what you just said right now.
And me as well. I mean, like, how can they not see it? Because they want to keep fucking fooling everyone. Does everybody think that we never notice this? Right? Every time. How do you make the triangle? Ask yourself it. How do you make that triangle that Brian's just drawn on the piece of paper to start off with? Why is it already there existing on the page? Why is he not constructing it and showing you how he constructed it? It's already there in your mind to try and fool you. Imaginometry. He's putting images of triangles in your mind and not pointing out that they've just measured an angle. Twats. And you guys have the nerve to call me a liar.
By the way, this adjacent at the bottom, you can put this right angle, this corner, wherever, because you don't know the length of hypotenuse. So he put this at this point arbitrarily, but in fact, you can put it anywhere, just anywhere. You can prolong this hypotenuse to infinity. It will be still the same angle. So you can put this right angle at the bottom wherever you want. So it cannot prove anything. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'd say, like, if you've only got one angle, you can't form the triangle. It's impossible. That's the reason that the statement was made. Geometrically, you can't do it. So it's about time that Brian admits to everybody that this may be celestial navigation, right? It may be how that they've lied and fooled people for centuries, for however long it was. But this isn't a geometric operation. That's a lie. You cannot perform trigonometry with a right angle triangle that doesn't exist as a right angle triangle. It's just an angle. Just an angle. And if any mathematicians wants to come and tell us that how it's definitely not geometry, you can't just draw triangles from measuring an angle. I feel, well, I've had the Blue Marble Science team do this sort of stuff for ages. We've had Fight the Flat Earth accusing us of horrible crimes against humanity. We've had George Nutsack doing death threats. Multiple people here. It's not just me that he did that to. So we've had to take a lot of shit from the Blue Marble Science team. And now the Flat Earth debate team have gone overboard with their vitriol and hatred again. Maybe they got jealous that the Blue Marble science team were going crazy. They were going insane. So maybe Nathan Oakley wanted to grab a bit of attention about it. And he sent Brian out to do this. But this is just fucking dishonest. Fucking dishonest. At the start. At the fucking start. So what's the use of me carrying on? If it's built upon a fucking stolen concept, a falsehood, a fallacy, an impossibility, then what's the point of carrying on? This has come to this point every time we've ever had a conversation with anybody about this. You've just magicked a fucking triangle from nowhere. And you cannot get past that fact. You get butthurt when somebody says, where the fuck's the triangle come from? They do get fucking butthurt. Nathan Oakley, QE, Brian's logic, and maybe, I think it'll be 10th Man. This is his argument. Is it an argument? Can you call it an argument if it's built upon a fallacy? That's right, fallacy. You can't have the triangle. You can't draw a rectangle on a piece of paper. It doesn't work. Dishonest fuck. Thanks, gods. I will play it for a bit more.
You end up with a 51.34 degree zenith angle. You multiply that by 60. So 1 second now. Right.
Multiply it by 60. Oh, thank you very much. What's going on? It's just parroting. Shadow Giant stuff. Times it by 60. Where's that come from? Is that what it says in the book? Thank you very much, people. Timothy. Yeah. I hope it's not because I'm being like this. I don't like being like this. This is not to be encouraged. But they're getting stupid. This is ridiculous. And we all know that this is celestial navigation, right? It's built upon a fallacy. The fact that somebody's built a proof around it and not noticed that there's a fucking fallacy in it. I'm sorry, guys, but it has to be pointed out. There's a fucking great big wazzing triangle that isn't there. It doesn't exist. That's the fucking elephant in the room, guys. Address the issue. We've got some. Oh, look, there you go. Here comes Rumpus to defend the Nathan Oakley guys.
By the way, I think that if he is involving this 60, it means that this celestial body has to be Polaris only. So he is talking about Polaris, not just a celestial body.
He's talking about a triangle. I can't get past it.
Yes,
He's got a fucking triangle. A dishonest twat has drawn a triangle there and hoping that nobody's going to notice that he's drawn a fucking triangle, a rectangle.
Yes, he is, but he is talking about some celestial or any celestial body. No, he is talking about Polaris, and he is not saying that. Because this number, 60 miles or whatever, is only because of a drop or angled Polaris. Only. And he's not saying that. So I would say that in so-called celestial navigation, this measuring angle is to any star, not Polaris. So why he is putting this number here? So it is for me just a trick here. He's putting this number from Polaris to any celestial body. Why? He didn't explain that.
Well, I don't think there's no need for me to go any further. Dishonest twat has drawn a triangle. Therefore, he's gone further than his remit. They only have an angle, and yet he's drawn a triangle. So that's where he thinks I lie, is that you can make a triangle. But without explaining how he did it. He just drew it. Right, we've got Rumpus in the chat, and he's helping out. Brian, you've drawn a fucking triangle. You're not going to mention it, no? Are you going to call me a liar, Brian? When you're the one that's just fucking drawn a right-angled triangle, both above and below. A measured angle. It's not me, Brian. You've drawn a fucking triangle. You lying shit. But if you want to say that you can, Brian, you can magic triangles from angles. That's fine. We know how the flat earth debate thing. Come in and read it out to yourself, Brian. Read your comment out to everybody. Come in here and read it out. Do it yourself. I'm not your announcer. I will expose you drawing rectangles from an angle. And then calling me a liar because of it. Because nobody ever claimed just an angle. Well, Omega Genesis, the statement is you can do fuck all with an angle. Right? So that's where the statement about an angle is made. Omega Genesis.
Yes, Beth was talking about an angle, not an triangle. Angle.
Mm-hmm. And not an celestial navigation argument. Just an angle. How can you not understand that you can do fuck all with an angle means an angle? Like the words in the statement.
Omega Genesis is wrong again because he said nobody said you could. Yes, Nathan Oakley said you could, but he didn't say how. For 2 hours, he didn't say how. And now Brian's logic is making triangle, not an angle, and he is operating with triangle. So he is not operating with one angle. So Omega, you are wrong. There are people that claim that you can do something with one angle, and then what they do is operating with triangle. This is not operating with one angle. So mark your words, Omega, before you write something.
Brian is literally all he is doing. He has nothing else but to say liar.
Yeah, that's a globe thing, isn't it? You know, like that's, I'm pretty sure we've heard that on repeat from other people.
Oh, and Brian, if you could actually explain it properly, people would probably listen, but you can't.
He just did a load of poison in the well at the beginning, drew a fucking rectangle. Didn't address the fucking issue. You can do fuck all with an angle.
Oh, so Brian, while you're here, Brian, you sat there and said nothing while Nathan just shouts abuse at people. Why is that? Why do you feel like you want to be on a panel when Nathan Oakley just shouts abuse at people? The whole point of the show, apparently, is flat earth debate. People come in to talk to you. That happens. Is that what you support, Brian? Or are you just here to call Bev a liar? Is that it? Is that your whole point?
Yeah, Nathan's got butthurt about a different statement, misrepresented it, and then brought Brian out as though it's me attacking celestial navigation. No, Brian. No, well, Nathan got upset, and now you've come here presenting celestial navigation as a rebuttal to the statement you can do fuck all with an angle. That's on you, Brian. You're presenting it as proof that you can do something with just an angle. And you've shown us that you can just draw a fucking rectangle. You magic shit.
By the way, Nathan was calling you names for 2 hours because he wanted you to, you, Beth, to concede that you can do something with an angle. That was his point for over 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. So in which he ended up talking about it.
Yes. So the end statement of him was that you can do something by talking about it. So if someone in chat is saying that this wasn't Nathan claim, it was. Go listen and check before
he said you could save people at sea with an angle.
Yes, to save people. Yes, measuring angle will save people. One angle.
You think Nathan's honest? I think he's just fooled everybody, Brian. He's got you to come over here and present this obvious dishonesty. Or you can't, maybe you can't see it for yourself. Perhaps somebody's put a paralogism around it, an ECV, just wrapped it up in a nice big veil for you and said, don't look at this, Brian. Pretend it's just an angle. Bev will never see it. Nobody else will see it. We've performed a magic trick on everybody over the last 2 years. Nobody will notice that we've got a fucking rectangle there on the fucking page.
Nathan may have a temper, But at least he's honest. That just came from Brian's logic.
For 2 hours, he didn't say and explain anything about what he is doing with that angle. So I cannot see how he's honest. That doesn't add for me.
It wasn't an honest debate tactic, was it? He didn't present an argument, and like, I don't know whether he noticed it or not, but he did constantly ad hom. But I don't think he saw it as ad homs, because he set up flat earth debate. That's what he imagines flat earth debating is. That's what anybody is best be prepared to do. If they want to go and have a chat with the flat earth debate supermen, then be prepared for the particular style of debate that Nathan brings. And don't notice that if they draw a triangle when they just measure an angle, be prepared to just ignore it. Like, let them have it. You know, you don't want them getting all upset and going shouty at you. That wouldn't be good for the show, would it? Just allow them to have it. Just accept it. Just let them hand the paralogisms to you. So, just simple stuff that we deal with here. And this is, I've got this Rumpus thing here. I don't know about you guys to watch it. I don't know how to get it for you. It's on the in the live chat. It's like a 3-minute clip. I want to go over it with you guys, because it just goes to show the double talk and dishonesty, and the unawareness of their being able to contradict each other. Not just Brian and Nathan Oakley and QE, but Rumpus and Blue Marble Science. Really, everybody. Everybody has the ability to hold contradictions. They probably do. You're probably not aware of it because you've been conditioned to accept them. You've been conditioned to not see the contradictions, to not place these two things together. Once that occurs and somebody shows you these contradictions and you put them together, it's called cognitive dissonance. Puts your mind in a weird state. That you don't know how to deal with it because you've got two contradictory thoughts that exist in your mind at the same time, and you've been made aware of them. There's loads of different reactions that you can have about how you do that, and particularly when you listen, you hear Rumpus. Now, most people know not to listen to Rumpus, right? Because, I mean, it's Rumpus. He talks dead fast and doesn't make any sense, and he overshouts people and all of that. But what we've been doing is we've been looking past that, because at the overlying theme of things and the narrative that gets pushed, and the fact that somebody could have their mind placed in a position like Rumpus, where it's completely dictated by the model. Rumpus is a prime example of somebody who's had the mind exploded around a model, and they've tried to justify this model so deeply within themselves that their mind, they've gone through a mental break. They've lost reality. They've made themselves an internal paracosm. I don't know whether it happens in childhood and it carries on going. Maybe the parents were very space orientated, or maybe his parents were in the Flat Earth Society. and he just got to hear it. Maybe there's somebody like Fight the Flat Earth. Maybe that was like his parent and he heard Daddy shouting in the background. Maybe like Nathan Oakley's children must be hearing a raging guy shouting about flat Earth and angles and just shut up bitch and all of that sort of stuff, right? That you may have heard that in your and put it to the back of your mind. Well, that's where Rumpus is. So Rumpus teaches us how an adult mind can blatantly contradict itself with no disregard about anything, just completely oblivious to the contradictions that the mind can hold. Most people will be doing this. Everybody has this ability to do this for themselves. I don't know. I don't know whether you guys can.
By listening and understand you more on. Well done, Brenda. Do the point of constant.
It's a 3-minute clip, guys. So let's see what we can do. I want to be. How do I do this so I can get you guys to go over it? Can I?
Well, it seems like Brian has a bee in his bonnet. He wants his video played desperately.
Really? Well, I'm going over this. You didn't have to do it, Brian. It's all right. I think somebody's got a contract that they have to be able to say, well, we've told Bev about the celestial navigation. I don't give a shit about celestial navigation. It's all about you can do fuck all with an angle. Just because you guys say, well, we've got celestial navigation that proves that geometric statement wrong. You're a liar, Bev. Brilliant. You magicking fucking triangles out of somewhere does not disprove the geometric statement you can do fuck all with an angle. You dishonest group of fucks. Go and watch your video. Go and explain it to everybody else exactly what you do with just an angle. Go and convince Nathan Oakley. I'm not interested in your video, Brian, and why you're trying to do it to defend other people when you're obviously being fucking dishonest. Fuck off. Oh, where's it gone?
Oh, he's now got a bee in a bonnet about Bob. Apparently we support Bob and Bob controls us.
Who, Bob? He came in the other day.
He made a comment in the chat.
Yeah.
It almost, I mean, from Brian, it just sounds like pure projection. And they cut ties with Bob, so that's their own fault, really. They seem to treat everybody the same.
What? I'll get this in a minute.
I still don't understand what Brian is trying to do, making triangle, and he's trying to defend position that you can do anything with one angle. It doesn't add for me still, so I don't know what he's defending, Brian.
Yeah, well, you can do fuck all with an angle, and then they're going to get upset about it. Brian's even made a video. Think we wouldn't even fucking notice the big fucking rectangle he's drawn. Right, this is you can see that, right? This is a video that I clipped a bit ago about Rumpus, and I didn't really make the most of it because I thought we'll just let it sit and see what happens. And it turns out that a load of shit's gone down, right? But this is just to let you know the sort of stuff that we do, right? We spot contradictions, and then we don't tell people about them. We get them to say the contradictions so everybody can hear the person holding contradictions. Like the fact that you can draw a fucking triangle and say that you are only using an angle. It's a contradiction. It's impossible. Stop fucking doing it. Stop lying to people. Well, this is Rumpus. I'm going to play it out. 3 minutes of a video.
By listening and understanding more on. Well done, Brenda. Do the points of constant elevation form a plane on the Earth? Well done, Brenda. But what he doesn't understand is that the term level is for a constant elevation. Well done, Brenda. What's meant by a flat earther? That's what a flat earther believes. Points of constant elevation form a perfect horizontal plane. Well done, Brenda. But what he doesn't understand is that the term level is for a constant elevation. Yes. That makes you a flat earther. Sorted. Well done, Brenda. Yes. No, on the globe. Points of constant elevation form a sphere. You utter moron. Well done, Brenda. You utter moron. But what he doesn't understand is that the term level is for a constant elevation. Points of constant elevation on the sphere, on the globe, form another spherical surface. You utter idiot. Well done, Brenda. But what he doesn't understand is that the term level is for a constant elevation. Yes. That makes you a flat earther. Sorted. Well done, Brenda. Can I just finish that point, though? Remember, the Earth is incredibly flat. Well done, Brenda. The Earth is very flat. Sorted. Well done, Brenda.
Even though we know he has no argument, I think Rumpus uses tactics that other people only go to at the end before they get really annoyed.
Ev, on your Earth, do points of constant elevation form a perfect plane?
What?
By listening and understanding more on. Do the points of constant elevation form a plane on the Earth?
Yes.
So there you are, you're a flat earth.
A horizontal plane.
No, because
that's what's meant by a flat earther. That's what a flat earther believes. Points of constant elevation form a perfect horizontal plane. Yes. That makes you a flat earther. Sorted. Well done, Brenda.
No, because you can do that also on the globe.
No, you can't. It doesn't form a flat. No, on the globe. Points of constant elevation form a sphere. You utter moron. You utter moron.
Elevation.
Points of constant elevation on the sphere on the globe form another spherical surface. You utter idiot. Jesus Christ, how stupid can you be?
No, there is
You have got to be the thickest person in this panel.
Rumpus, how rude can you be? If you're going to come in here and talk,
Emma, do you understand? Okay, Emma.
There is no such thing
Emma, if I form a surface a certain distance from a sphere on a football, let's say, and I increase, create a new surface. I think this is where the confusion starts. You use a water level to create a horizontal, but what he doesn't understand is that the term level is for a constant elevation. And because the water level gives a horizontal, he's all confused. Because by that sort of that combination of words.
Water level does give a horizontal now then, right?
No one's disputed it didn't.
Okay.
Hey,
that's brilliant.
Specifically,
So did you hear that then? Apparently. Do you want to hear it again? The end bit. This is Rumpus, right?
Words.
Water level does give a horizontal now then, right?
No one's disputed it didn't.
Okay. So nobody, according to Rumpus, nobody has disputed that a water level didn't produce a horizontal. Want it again?
Do I get to be the first?
That combination of words.
Water level does give a horizontal now then, right?
No one's disputed it didn't.
Okay. No one's disputed it didn't. Rumpus has never heard anybody disputing a water level producing a horizontal plane of reference.
I take it the other way around. If no one's disputed that it didn't, right? That means somebody must have claimed that a water level tool does not establish a horizontal plane, and then had a dispute happen. Which, if that's the case, I would dispute it right now, because water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference.
Contradictory at best.
And by the way, if level is constant elevation and horizontal is also constant elevation, it means that if level is curved, therefore horizontal has to be curved also. So Rumpus is contradicting this way or other way.
Rumpus says it only gives a horizontal for the midpoint. You moron, Rumpus. Where's the midpoint of a water level? Just shows how ridiculous you've got. That's fucking
midpoint
stupid.
On the circle, it is impossible. There is no midpoints on the circle.
There's no midpoint of a water level. There's one on my either side of my board. Where's the horizontal? It goes from one end to the other. It's the shortest distance between those 2 points, Rumpus. It just goes to show how sad your arguments are. Like, the horizontal's only in the middle.
Middle of what?
Equivocation fallacy. A line is not a point is not a line. A line exists between two endpoints.
Go and get Blue Marble to stoke up his video chat, Rumpus. Go and explain to everybody over there our water level only produces in the centre. Fucking ridiculous. Just show everyone how little you understand about the geometric principles. Logical understanding, Rumpus. It's amazing that you've got to get away with it for so long. It's pretty obvious that this is an entirely controlled Psy-Op, of which there's probably a lot of mentally afflicted people. Like a daycare centre for mentally challenged people.
Rumpus is trying again, but if it is only at what point, it means that at other points, this horizontal is not at equal elevation. So Rumpus is contradicting himself again.
It's like he's admitting now as well, right? Rumpus says, you have been told hundreds of times by tens of people. Tens, that's it. It's about as many people as you've got, Rumpus. 10 deluded fools just constantly repeating the same old shit. Nonsensical stuff. Hump, drop, no, both. No, there's no difference between the hump and the drop. We can't make our mind up. It's only horizontal at the midpoint, but it's constantly dropping away from you infinitely in a quadratic function, which is also impossible mathematically in reality. But let's ignore that. Let's stick with the ridiculous shit.
Yep. Forget about lights in the sky. This is the argument. Water geometry. This is the number one argument. This right here is the tip of the spear. Right here.
Simple geometry. It's here for everyone. Simple logic. Simple geometry. It's the same thing. Geometry is just a way to vehicle to teach you a logical system, which obviously Rumpus has zero understanding.
First order stuff, not sky, pie in the sky lights and measurements and angles. None of that shit. Just reality.
I don't have enough faith, Rumpus. I don't have enough faith to stick to your model.
That's all you need to defeat the ballers. Water, geometry, humps, drops. That's it. Simple things that everybody could understand. No degrees of altitude, no minusing from 90s, no books, no 10 adjustments that you have to make on an instrument that's riddled with faults. Just simple water and geometry. That's all you need. Best argument, tip of the spear, right here.
Simple. Wait until they find out how simple it actually is. Once we get down to the straight line, the basics of the geometry. Show you how simple it can get, Rumpus. It's not surprising why you're all threatened, teaming up with your Flat Earth Society buddies. They're all coming in.
I am waiting for Rumpus saying Bend is on top. He is nearly there.
Well, they have to go there, right? We've known that for ages, where these the mental break has to go to, and where the final mental break comes, the final nut sacking, when they start dribbling. Become I mean, Rumpus is obviously a special kind of guy. He can live in this delusion and he can talk about it. He's in that position. He's just handing out paralogisms. It's like I think a lot of people have become immune to Rumpus. Because, you know, you can't discuss anything with him. He's got no logical understanding. You can't get him to slow down. He's got no way of calming the mind. Unless he can, he might feel comfort around a group of men. Who knows?
Rumpus needs his diagrams. He's nothing without his diagrams. He feels insecure. You don't think you can put your argument across without diagrams, Rumpus? I'm sure you can, if you put your mind to it.
I hope you're going to go over to Nathan Oakley's, Rumpus, after this. He's feeling all left out. We don't want him to get all upset that you're over here talking to us and not paying him any attention. That'd just be wrong, Rumpus. You can't do that, can you? Have you ever thought of giving Nathan Oakley a bit of attention again? I think he'd like to go over there and have a chat with you. You could both team up and tell each other how stupid we are over here. Maybe you might get a bit of commonality, friendship going again, like in the olden days. You can imagine might even get an invite to the caravan.
Or maybe explain to Nathan what to do with an angle. Because he didn't say for 2 hours. So maybe Rumpus would be quicker.
I think this scripted scenario that they have going as well, that's sort of bled over into reality, is so funny when they try to tell people that actually do stuff in reality when when their ridiculous blue marble science character goes over into that. Like, he's in the chat at the minute telling Spot On he doesn't know anything about surveying, when Spot On is the one that would set out the foundations of where the house is to be built. He has to check with the surveying tools that he's doing it correctly. So it's pretty obvious that Rumpus is fictional character is overstepping its bounds into this reality element that Rumpus obviously doesn't live in. Rumpus is his make-believe paracosm that he's putting together, he's constructed for himself. He imagines he can just insult normal people that come for conversation. There's a lot of people in this arena that do the similar sort of thing. They've gone so far as to think the entertainment that they're dealing with within the YouTube thing is it can belong to another group of people. I mean, these people think that we're part of that game. We're not, Rumpus. We're real people. You can't just bring your blue marble science characters into this reality element that we've got going on here. You look ridiculous.
We don't follow anything. We don't follow anybody. We all have individual thoughts. We argue with each other from time to time. And that's it. There's no bull here. None.
What sort of a person seriously goes round telling people that they're too stupid? Rumpus. I mean, come on. Like, I know you have a character on YouTube, but seriously, time to drop the act at some point. Your character's a dick. Everybody knows it. It's not... This isn't what an intellectual does, Rumpus. This is just you being a dick. Your character is a wanker. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows what to expect. It's time you started showing people what you actually knew, instead of just being a fucking knob. But we know it's all based around a similar sort of thing. These guys draw triangles when they only have an angle, and you draw circles. Circles and squares, that's the difference. And you all imagine what you can do, whatever you want, because it's your new geometry or your new imagination. It's your entertainment thing that you've generated it. You've made it yourself. It's not you that's saying it. It's Celestial Navigation. It's not Rumpus that's saying it. It's the blue marble science. It's the globe that's saying it. Not Rumpus. Not blue marble science that's saying it. It's the globe. Rumpus, you're a waste of space. Everybody knows it. And you've got nothing to offer. You just sit in the chat like a farmer's boy, talking shit with nothing. You've got absolutely nothing. In fact, you've got less than nothing. You've exposed yourself at Bedford. We know you've got nothing. We know how bad it is for you, Rumpus, and we know why you're not going to be able to do anything. We've been there, Rumpus. We know you have fuck all. Pretty much like measuring an angle, right, Rumpus? You think that's what you're going to do? You're going to measure an angle? Well, you can do fuck all with an angle, Rumpus. You as well. There's no equipotential angle of adjustment. It doesn't exist. You and your little team of cronies trying to force everybody into some sort of capitulation around an impossibility isn't going to work, Rumpus. We're here to say, fuck off. It doesn't work. It's impossible. Hide in your bunker. What are you talking about, Rumpus?
Come in, Rumpus, for a chat. It's been a while.
He's talking about surveying literature. That's McToon's, Rumpus. McToon's. Don't trust McToon. You're talking shit again, Rumpus. You're getting distracted.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, Rob.
Come on, Rumpus, come on in. Cut the bull. Think of it as a Christmas powwow. Say your piece and leave.
He won't. He's not allowed to put pictures up. He knows, right? Rumpus knows that any sort of power he ever has is within the imagery of the circle that he draws. He needs it with him. It's his companion. He doesn't feel safe without it. He gets a little bit scared if he doesn't have a circle somewhere nearby or the ability to show somebody a circle. It's like his security blanket. He has to go everywhere with it. So we've said, when we had the globe science attack, the gratuitous globe science attack, we had to stop people from just having being able to show pictures. So that's what we've done, Rumpus. Sorry, had to be done. We can't have any gratuitous blue marble scientists coming expressing their joy of circles all over the place. We can't have that.
You know what sucks, Bev, is when you say globe earth scientists, that image plays in my mind and it hurts.
What?
The globe earth scientist post. Like, you can't unsee that shit. So
well, that's globe earth science, right? As long as you've got the right imagery going on.
Fucking every time I hear globe earth scientist, I see that image that got posted and I can never unsee it. So I hope nobody ever had to see that.
What I'm wondering whether anybody's going to take on the George Nutsack with the vertical and horizontal not being perpendicular, because that is a consequence that actually has to happen, right? Nobody's taking it on. Nobody's bothered about it. The fact that they can't have vertical and horizontal being perpendicular on the globe model. George Nutsack. Rumpus's best mate. They had coffee every morning, Rumpus, didn't you? You helped George out with the RBD face differential level. You know what it is. George helped you set up your test, which is basically a replication of the Rainy Lake thing that he did on a lake, where he measured a drop of 17 feet of the water level in the distance. Lion shits. So yeah, that's what you're going to do, Rumpus. We know all about it. We know how fucking ridiculous it is. We even had a word with the guy that does the lock system there about the very same fucking thing. It's amazing, really, when you can talk to anyone about this sort of stuff, Rumpus. Like, literally anyone. And I have had many conversations. They're dead easy to have at the side of a canal, talking to people about their awareness of the water level dropping away from them and the requirements of globe that people aren't aware of, right? There's contradictions that you have to hold. People just aren't aware of them. Are people aware that there are a group of people that literally call you a flat earther for saying that level is horizontal? What would people say it stood at the side of a canal about the water level? What do you reckon? Would the water level be horizontal, or would it be dropping away from you at a quadratic function, an impossible quadratic function? Or should we not just bother talking about it? Let's pretend that's not there. Let's forget about that. Let's talk about angles and how you can do things with angles. Let's not bother talking about the straight line and the perpendicularity that's associated to it, from either horizontal or vertical, and the geometric proofs associated with it. Well, let's forget about that, because like George said, it can't be perpendicular on a globe model, can it, Rumpus? It's just not possible. Contradictions people have to hold.
I have a question.
Hello?
Hello, Bev.
All right.
Hello, this is Carl.
All right, Carl.
And it might be a language thing, and I'm not trying to be a smartass, but I think it's you who says you can't do anything with an angle.
You can do fuck all. We like to stay positive, right?
Okay, sorry.
So statement positivity. You can do fuck all with an angle. Angle.
And the question is, and it might be a language thing. English is my second language. Is there a difference between one angle and a angle?
An angle.
Yeah, is there a difference between one angle and an angle?
Well, it's an angle.
An angle, yeah. Sorry about that.
An angle is just one, isn't it? Yeah. An angle.
Singular. One.
Any one.
Hey, can I just jump in for a quick sec here? He can say a angle. It's just the problem in the English language is we don't like to have two vowels right next to each other. So that's why they put the an for anything that starts with a vowel. Just if you're trying to help with your English.
Okay. So is there a difference, sort of? It's the same thing, right?
Exactly the same thing, yes.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
Okay. Can you imagine why anybody would get upset about that statement?
No, not on the top of my head, really.
Do you imagine it's a statement that's made specifically for anybody, or is it like just a general geometric rule? Do you think?
I'm not sure what it means, actually.
It's pretty self-explanatory, right? You can do fuck all with an angle.
I mean, you can't cook with an angle, right?
That's pretty sure, yeah, yep.
So you can't do fuck all with an angle then, or?
Well, you do realise an angle is a geometric term, right?
Yeah, sure.
Inclination of a straight line to another straight line. And you know what a straight line is, right?
Absolutely, but it doesn't have to be straight, right? It could be
an angle.
A point. Couldn't it be a point to another point? It doesn't have to be a line.
No, an angle
A point is that which has no parts.
Yeah, an angle is the inclination of a straight line to another straight line. As long as the straight line doesn't lie in the same straight line.
But it couldn't be points. Couldn't it be angle between 2 points?
But that's what an angle is, right? Because being the other point, you would be the vertex, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it doesn't have to be lines. It could be an angle between 2 points, right?
Well, a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. The line doesn't need exist like you're trying to do mentally. It's just the shortest distance between 2 points, right?
Yeah. I think.
So could you try and have a think about what you could do with an angle? Have you got any? Because we're thinking about making a list of things that you can do with an angle, just to appease some, that group of people that get really upset about it. So we're trying to give them a helping hand.
That list is empty right now, right?
Yeah.
I think it'll stay that way.
Yeah. So have you got anything that you think you'd like to add to the list of things you think you might be able to do with an angle?
You can get an elevation angle.
This is just an angle, but I would say that Nathan had a point, because you can talk about angle. So this is the first thing, not geometrically, but you can still talk about angle.
Is that doing something with an angle, though?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Not geometrically, of course, but this it is inside this, let's say, definition fuck all. So if it contains, this fuck all contains talking about angle.
Yeah, something that is like a vacuous truth, right?
You can cook something on an angle of, for example, that would be another thing.
Sing about it, think about it.
Singing about.
Dance. I suppose you could get angry about it. Any sort of emotional things. I mean, it would be allowed.
Angry about it.
I was just thinking specifically of Nathan and how but yeah, it's not directed particularly at celestial navigation. It just seems like there's a load of butthurt people that have imagined that it is got something to do with celestial navigation. I'm just assuming that they've seen the link and thought, fuck, where did we get that triangle from? Perhaps he might have been talking about us. Well, no, we were just talking about in the general broader sense of it. But it's nice to people to let us know that, yeah, they're conjuring up triangles out of thin air. Nice tactic. I hope they've not built a proof around that statement of a fallacious... Would that be it? That would be like a fallacious antecedent? Because they're starting off with it, aren't they? I don't know. So did that clear it up, do you think? Or do you think people will still have a different way to get around the fact that they think something different about the statement, you can do fuck all with an angle? I find it really strange that people getting upset about it and then linking it to celestial navigation. I've always said I don't give a shit about celestial navigation. Even when Nathan put me on a fucking boat, made me kill everyone, I still don't give a shit about celestial navigation. In fact, I got put off celestial navigation when Nathan put me on a boat and killed everyone. It sort of put me off celestial navigation. I know, that's what I mean, but Nathan put me on a boat and killed everyone, and so I'm not really too keen on celestial navigation myself.
But can I just say something about the celestial navigation and your elevation angle? Mm-hmm. Don't you need to triangulate your position? So you're not just using one angle. So I don't know why they're so mad.
They're drawing triangles.
Yeah, that's 3 angles. Like, fuck. You're not using an angle. Fuck, it drives me nuts. They just don't get it. They still think you're just using one angle and doing something with it.
Nathan put me on a boat and said, "What would you do, Bev? What will you do?" And I said, "I'll go and have a word with the navigator." "You can't go and have a word with the navigator, you dickhead. Everybody's dead. Everybody died." I know nothing about fucking celestial navigation. And guess what? I've not listened to Flat Earth Debate, fucking Fantasy Club, where they fucking conjure up triangles from nowhere. Imagine that measuring angles at sea can save people's lives. I don't know about that. I don't know about that particular brand of celestial navigation. I'm not aware of it, and I wasn't prepared for it. Particularly when we told Nathan, you can do fuck all with an angle. That's why he got pissed off, I think. I think Nathan's been over the video when he came over here and recorded it. It's time you put it out, Nathan. Put the original thing out, Nathan, so then everybody else can see that you can do fuck all with an angle. Even when you put people on boats and kill everybody on the boat as a shitty argument to get around the fact that you can do fuck all with an angle. You as well.
Funny, when I asked him what he would do, what he himself would do, the same question he asked you, right? I gave him the angle. Here you go, Nathan. Here's the angle present. And I asked him, what are the things, the first 3 things you do after you take the angle? Because he told me that he had used the sextant after he has asked me if I had used it. And he said, I used it on my sister's boat. But then a couple of minutes later, when I was questioning him on it, that's the time he gave me, like, to say 2 words, more than 2 words in a sentence without muting me. I asked him what he would do. What are the 3 things that you do after the angle, since you already done it? And he said, well, I watched my sister do it. Then he changed the story. So who's a liar, Nathan? Did you do it like you told me? Or did you watch your sister do it like you told me a minute later? Which one is it, Nathan? You think we don't pay attention, huh? Yeah, we pay attention.
Yeah. I don't know. Simple geometric statements taken out of context and people getting all butthurt thinking it's about celestial navigation. But you've done well. You've exposed your trick to everybody. But anybody listening now, just be aware, don't bother asking them about it. You can try if you want. But get ready for the flashback. It's going to be, you haven't got an argument with us. You've got an argument with celestial navigation. Well.
Yeah. You think it proves a flat Earth?
Celestial navigation,
newsflash.
draw the triangle.
Yeah.
Forgetting about the geometric principles that you can do fuck all with an angle. Yet somebody's told you that you can. And it's called celestial navigation. I mean, who's celestial navigation? Who's this great faith wizard that you're putting all of your foundings into? Not me. I've got a firm understanding of geometry that tells me you can do fuck all with an angle. Other people seem to have this faith within a triangle angle, a group of people, some supermen that are going to help them out with some sort of a proof, the best proof for a non-entity of a misnomer. The best proof of a misnomer you've ever not heard.
Why would you use lights in the sky and then not let it be put up to scrutiny, especially when you had a more solid argument, the black swan argument, right? Which at least there you had something in the water. Notice water again, very important. You had something in the water which could be for sure, the distance of it known for sure. You had a horizon in the background. That was a solid argument. Why would you go to the lights in the sky? Why? And then not even accept scrutiny, not even accept a question about it. That's not smart.
Endgame stuff in the chat. People make a mental note of that. Mathematical truths. Sometimes they've been there all along. So obvious for people to see. That's the biggest trick. Getting people not to see what's right in front of their faces.
If you have an argument, you should accept scrutiny from either side, from anybody. And you should be smart and say, okay, he's taking his time, he's telling me something wrong. Like when I told you about the book, right? A few months back. You should have listened. That's a weakness in the argument. The almanac, the nautical almanac, that's a weakness in the argument. I told you guys that 4 months ago or so, whenever it was.
Soon, right? I mean, I know we're not going to be going anywhere because we are just in a Discord server and there's a lot of people that are completely obsessed watching us. They're all been saying it. They're all fascinated by us because of the different ways we think. We just use logic. Epoche. Nobody's really that fussed about anything. There's no big deal. We're not just obsessed with the shape of things, which there is a group of people here that are like amazingly obsessed. They're so deep into this entire thing. They've based their whole being and their entire entertainment thing around this misnomer. They incorporate contradictions within their arguments to keep the entertainment going, to make one side needs to look ridiculous for a bit, and then the other side need to look ridiculous for a bit. It's a bit like Labour and Tory in the UK, Republican and Democrat over in America. The two sides of the same coin. There's no difference. One of them needs the other in order to argue against, to keep the false narrative going. This shape discussion is the one thing that stops people from looking at reality. It's all a distraction. There is only reality. And all of us live in the same reality. Why aren't we discussing that reality? Why is there a fake argument, shouting, dramas being created to stop people from discussing what's right there in front of people's faces? It's time it stopped. I mean, there are obviously people that do enjoy this backwards and forwards and shoving balls down people's mouths and ripping each other a new arsehole. But it's not going to get anywhere for constructive conversation. And it's been going on for years now. They've perfected this method of doing it. Even Nathan Oakley, you've seen him. He's trying to bring normal people into these things as well. He thinks everybody's part of his fucking playground where they can sort of pretend that they're puppeteering everybody in the vicinity to set their narrative. Well,
you know what just reminded me of?
Good.
You remember the Jerry Springer show?
Yeah.
That's what it has become. No disrespect to some of the guys there, because I do respect some of the people there. But Nathan, you're the Jerry Springer of Flat Earth, bro. You become a joke.
But nobody's going to go over there and talk, right?
You know, I want to jump in here for just a sec, because I actually think he's more of a different celebrity. You guys ever heard of Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah.
A chef. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he reminds me of the Gordon Ramsay of Flat Earth. Because Gordon Ramsay yells.
Gordon Ramsay
yells.
He goes in your face. He comes in your face.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay. Nathan is a chicken shit.
I don't know.
I called him out on his channel, and what did he do? He muted me. He's a chicken shit. He ain't no Gordon Ramsay. No freaking way. More like a Benny Hill.
I'm allowed to have my own opinion.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah. Cheers, bro. But I like Gordon Ramsay. Let's be clear. I like that dude.
I love Gordon Ramsay, and I like Nathan too, considering all considered. But it is what it is.
His character's
like
doing whatever it's meant to do.
Name, bro.
Anyways, what I mean is, like, normally, except for this last week of him going after us, like, normally when he was going after ballers doing the same kind of thing, it was because they were spouting shit. But he didn't want to hear what you had to say.
Yeah, that's what pissed me off. He cut me off.
I know. I'm in agreement with you on your situation, but most of the time, it's ballers he's doing it to, and because they're saying stupid shit and not actually listening to what he's saying, is when he goes Gordon Ramsay on people, is what I call it. Anyways.
I call it Jerry Springer. You know why? Because Gordon Ramsay will... Hold on. My turn. Gordon Ramsay will sit back and take the shit from the other guy in the kitchen and tell him, mate, you're disgusting. Your veal was mush. And he'll give him answers, right? That's not what he did. He muted me.
Like I said,
Oh, I
in
really
your
don't
case,
care because Nathan is not really important to me. I hardly even
know,
watch the show. It's like
all I
it's
was saying
meaningless to me.
was in your case, I'm in total agreement. But normally, when I hear him doing shit like that, it's contextually accurate that they're not listening to what he's saying. In this case, it was he was not wanting to hear what you had to say and wanted to do one of those baller explosions on somebody.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you saw that. Remember, his name is Rob. Rob, 3 years subscriber.
Member. I've
Member.
been subscribed to him since he was like 1,000 subs or something. Fucking crazy.
Hey, it is what it is, man.
I was watching episode 100, at like 150. We're at 1,700.
I'm at near 850. Who'd have thunk that?
Congratulations. Well deserved.
All because we were trying to document the strange occurrences that were going on. And we've since found that there are contradictions everywhere that people hold. Now, I try not to hold any contradictions. It's not good to hold contradictions. I think everybody can agree that there are no contradictions in reality. And if you do find yourself holding a contradiction, you should do your very best to sort that issue. You can't accept a contradiction into reality because they just don't exist. You will get yourself into trouble if you start messing around with accepting contradictions. Now, I know that there are people who do accept contradictions in their daily life, and it normally means that they're crazy, they're insane. And I know quite a few insane people around here. And I know that because I know that they hold contradictions. People don't want to talk about contradictions because they might find themselves holding them. They like to try and distract from the conversations basing around that. Yes, insane. They are. Insane. As anyone would be if you stick around an arena where people are talking about their fantasies constantly, telling you that you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe getting off at shouting at people within this arena. Maybe confusing people and then imagining that you can hold power over them by ridiculing them. Maybe demeaning their character. Maybe just sort of having a go at an entire sex. Maybe you might feel brave about it. You might big yourself up. You might think that you're teaching your daughters how to instill strength in character by being shouted at, you stupid bitch. Perhaps that may be some sort of twisted logic that you think you can have. It's nice.
Yeah, that's one thing, doing it to me and you, which, why would you do that, right? And would you do that in the pub in front of our faces? It's another question. But let's leave that aside. Why would you do that to a woman? Were you not brought up with manners, Nathan? Did your mom not teach you manners? Your pops? Sure they did.
Maybe his sister did.
Yeah. I'm sure this is not one of your finest moments, Nathan.
Yeah, in my opinion, she should have gotten an apology before me.
Yeah, definitely, Rob. Shameful behavior, just shameful.
Well, I think it's also all projection. That's what I think.
Oh, by the way, guys, I haven't had an apology, but he has left some comments on the video, and one of them is something about me being a drunk.
What?
What? I never heard you being drunk, ever.
People hurt
Not
people.
one.
No way. He's really put that you're drunk.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
How fucking low can you get?
Yeah, but it's just stupid. That's all it's meant to do is just poke, endure it.
Yeah.
It gives him a boner, whatever.
Yeah, that's the way some people are, right? He thinks that's him being funny. He can always say, I was only joking. Can you not take a joke? Or maybe, no, maybe he's just a twat. Who knows? It's hard to tell.
It's not personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not personal.
Oh, that got me where he kept saying it's not personal and then facts. Like, how is that not personal? She's not saying an argument. She's giving you a statement. She's giving an opinion and you're just berating her. How is that not personal? And how is telling her people in her video she's got a drinking problem? How is that not an ad hom and personal? Like, you know, we can, if you want to, Nathan, we can go all the way back to the video you made with your child sitting on your lap, all patched up with bandages on her head, and what a big joke you made out of smacking her on a live stream, lying about it, rather than just saying, fuck off, I'm her father, I'll discipline my children the way I want. You lied about it. Like, you have no legs to stand on, dude. None. This is fucking ridiculous.
It's just a child himself looking for attention. Is what it sounds like to me.
And to say she's got daddy issues, well, it really seems like he might have mummy issues to me.
It's just a distraction. We've seen it all before from the Blue Marble Science guys. They have no argument, so they resort to entertainment, drama, distraction. It's nothing
But
new.
it wasn't even about their argument. This had nothing to do with them. They've injected themselves in, created a whole fucking story in their minds, and now are telling everybody that that story is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're fucking nuts. They have no idea what we've talked about in here, and they just go off on these tangents, ranting about nonsense.
Yeah, but that's what they do. They misrepresent. I mean, not just the Blue Marble Science community, but now, obviously, the Flat Earth Society. Sorry, the Flat Earth Debate Society.
And now, if you even come in here, you're a spastic. So it doesn't matter, how long Nathan's known you for or anything like that. If you even come in here, you're a spastic.
Can we not repeat that? That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
leave that to Nathan. You don't want to sink to that level. Everybody knows that Nathan's doing it just to, try and rile people up. I'm sure people that are listening to us don't need to be told how vile and disgusting Nathan is.
Maybe just a little. I'm with Paige on this one.
I'm
He deserves it.
sorry. I'm really, really disappointed in this behaviour. Like, to just go off like that. Like the last time when he came in to talk to us, and he just started screaming
like a madman. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'm really sorry, but holy shit, man, you need help badly before you fucking do something really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were saying a bit earlier, weren't we, Essie, that we've just been doing what we do, right? And we've been leaving Nathan alone because we know they get upset, and QEs obviously get butthurt about all sorts of stuff. He gets really upset. So we've been keeping out of the way. Now this particular one, this is what Nathan's brought. He's brought this. He's imagined that this entire thing, this statement, was all made just for him. Well, all of this you've brought, Nathan, this is for you. This is what you wanted. This is the spotlight on your argument. 10th man's argument. We can bring the Black Swan in as well. QE's argument. Let's bring it all in together. Put a massive spotlight on it and say, this is what Nathan Oakley wants everybody to focus on right now. This one angle and the things you can do with it. Focus on you, Nathan. Big time. Thanks for bringing it to everybody's attention. I can't remember how many times SE said he's been trying to bring this conversation up. We've been talking about it for years. I can remember Brian's logic coming in here with Flat Earth Egypt. And we told him right there and then, it's fucking ridiculous. I don't know whether he came back and told you that. But yeah, we told you ages ago. 2 years ago. Easily. But you brought it round 2 years later. Well done.
Isn't that, if I remember right, didn't they say something to the effect of, well, you better get on board with it, because blah, blah, blah.
Or else.
Or else, yeah.
Yeah. And I said right there and then, fuck off, no way. Fucking ridiculous.
This is the or else I'm going to have my guy act like a child and call you names on the internet.
I think so, yeah. We're going to slander the shit out of you with a nonsensical argument and then never be able to defend the shit that we've done. That's the position Nathan Oakley's in right now. With QE in the background going, you go and do it, Brian. Brian, you go and do it. I'm not doing it. I've already done a video where I slagged him off for ages. Nathan's done a video where he slagged him off for ages. You go and show him that you draw a rectangle, Brian. You be the one that looks fucking ridiculous. It's so weak.
Go earn your stripes.
That sounds a bit like a cult, if you have to take on the ideas and thinkings of the person that's in charge. Isn't that what a cult is? You have to do everything the same as they do.
I wouldn't know. I've never been in a cult, but It begins to sound a little bit like it when there's a lot of people trying Alice in Wonderland tactics and not noticing stuff. I mean, they are lost in confusion, contradictions. And they'll never be able to look at these contradictions either. Because, like we've been studying, been saying, we've found ECV. And I'm pretty sure Nathan, QE, Brian's Logic, 10th Man, anybody else, they're stuck in this ECV. They can't address the issue. They can't see the contradictions that they hold. They're a bit like Rumpus. They'll start off by drawing a triangle and not see that they're just trying to get an angle. Logical system has been exploded. There's assumptions upon assumptions inbuilt into some sort of fantastical thinking about geometry. It's arse backwards. And like we deal with here, we deal with advanced simplicity. It starts off from the beginning and builds up from there. The beginning isn't a triangle. The beginnings is the components, the definitions of the individual components that will go to make up the whole. The page is pointing it out again. The globe has no squares, even in their geometry. I'd forget about saying their geometry page. There is no other geometry. The fact that you're separating it, their geometry, gives people an allowance to be able to imagine there is another geometry. It just simply isn't.
Good point. I think why I do it is because Rumpus wants to use Euclidean geometry, and I keep trying to have to remind him, no, in Euclidean geometry, verticals and horizontals are always perpendicular.
Well,
So
I'd just say that in Euclidean geometry, a sphere is a three-dimensional shape. And they can't have that. That's it. Game over, right? They can't have Euclidean geometry, although they want to try and confuse people that that's what they're using. That's the part of the contradiction.
Yep.
That's a particular globe contradiction that they have to hold. They're not willing to address that issue. That's their ECV. And they'll be forever running from it.
Yeah, Rumpus refuses to come in and explain to me where he is allowed to have a vertical and a horizontal that are not perpendicular. He just refuses to explain that to me.
Yeah. That's why they can't talk about these things. There's a certain group of people that have to block stuff out from their minds. Just like drawing a triangle when you're only measuring an angle. Well, Rumpus and the globe guys have a very similar sort of thing. The moment anybody draws a straight line, it's game over for the globe, geometrically. And since geometry is so closely linked to logic, then logically, you can't have the globe. It's so simple. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah. So simple, but people have been pointed in the wrong direction for a long time. And because there's some group of people, two groups of people, maybe they're the same group of people, just different sides of the same coin, that don't want to have that discussion. And they'll aid each other in not having that discussion. A mutual benefit of not discussing the actual issue. Brave warriors of the flat earth debate crew. Attacking women because they didn't address the what you can't do with an angle.
Yeah, he just tells me I don't understand because I'm too stupid to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And how I'm supposed to understand something he's never explained is beyond me, but maybe that's because I'm stupid.
Well, it sort of exposes their ridiculous tactics, isn't it? Because
Same
they're
tactics
very similar. Yeah, go on.
As Globe.
Mm-hmm.
So this song you don't understand, they are using on this flat earth side. Same tactic. You don't understand. That we can talk about angle. And therefore we are doing something. So it becomes same or similar to Globe position. If we are talking about the tactics in discussion.
Yeah, debate tactics.
Or rather non-debate tactic, because this is not debate at all.
It's circular reasoning, right? You don't understand because you're stupid. And because you're stupid, you won't understand.
Yes. So Rumpus and Nathan unified in same kind of argumentation.
I don't know what Nathan thinks. You can do fuck all with an angle. If you measure an angle to a light in the sky. How is that doing something with an angle? Don't know. But I'm guessing that, you know, like, in order for you to believe that you've won some sort of argument, I'm guessing you can just believe whatever you want. I don't think they'll ever discuss this anymore. They'll just say they've already dealt with it. Anytime anybody ever brings up this discussion, they'll just say, we did the video. Let's leave it at that. Let's say no more.
Yeah, that's what they did to you when you went in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we explained this to you, Bev. You're a waste of time. You know, we're not going to waste our time with you. Well, that's a great rebuttal, isn't it?
It's definitely one of the best arguments around here at the minute, isn't it? Have you heard everybody talking about the celestial navigation argument? It's one of the most common ones used in debate forums around here, up and down Discord, all over YouTube. I'm sure people have been hearing all about this. Excellent. Is it a proof? Somebody claimed it's a proof. I know Brian claimed it was a proof of horizontal C, But that seems a bit fucking ridiculous because we know tides and waves and all of that sort of shit.
But really, they don't go into details. And the same tactic was when Baby had his presentation on Blue Marble Science. He didn't say anything about, let's say, technicalities about celestial navigation. And on Flat Earth side, they don't talk about technicalities also. So there is some magic here, or just maybe it is taboo, or what? I don't know.
A bit of taboo geometry.
Yes, they don't want to speak about that, maybe because they want to hide something, or to prevent some things to be revealed to people. I don't know. There is some conspiracy on both sides. I don't know why.
Well, it's pretty obvious that nobody wants to talk to us because we might ask questions about it. And since it seems like we're the only people that bother asking questions, because everybody else has to fit in line with either the Blue Marble scientific approach or the Flat Earth Society, the Flat Earth Debate Society approach. It's one or the other, and you have to fall in line to whichever one of the high priests of these particular religious sects are dealing with at the time. Sometimes you might be able to become a high priest yourself within either one of these communities. Seems like on the Flat Earth Society side, the Flat Earth Debate Society side, they get there by publicly getting off whilst berating people. I don't know whether anybody's ever going to be able to dethrone Nathan at that one, or whether Nathan's going to take that as his particular role. It's pretty certain though that Brian's logic, I think he's trying to go with the celestial navigation proof thing, but drawing rectangles, lost it a bit there, exposed the magic trick. And QE, well, he can do his farmer's boy thing in the background. Make sure you stay quiet, QE. Only come out when you think it's safe. It's good having a chat.
It'll be interesting to see how they react to this. You know, whether they're, because they were the ones that started with the insults towards everybody here, regardless of whether, you'd said anything or not. If you were here, you got targeted. So, I really am interested to see how they're going to behave. Because there's really no need for this. It's just like the argument when, what's his name, Whitsett brought the ether argument to them, and they just berated him and called him names and what have you. And anybody who agreed that it may be a possibility was also targeted. It's like, this whole paint everyone with a broad brush and pile them all into one label and then treat them all the same. This just does not work for me at all. I don't like it one bit.
No, I've been friendly to flat earthers, right? And this particular thing, I've always said I'm not a flat earther, but don't get upset about me not being a flat earther. Doesn't make me any different a person.
Yeah, look at how you treat me. I say I am a flat earther, but you don't. My name is literally Paige the Superflurf. Like, Yeah, but I know it's not flat. Like, I agree with everything you say about it. I only use the term because I know how much it shits the ballers. That's the only reason I do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know it can be used in certain ways, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I really do. I've had to defend the flat earthers purposely because Fight the Flat Earth was literally attacking flat earthers. And then they just label anybody a flat earther so they can purposely attack them.
Yeah, but there's also nothing wrong with you saying, no, I'm not a flat earther, because it literally isn't flat. It's just a factual statement.
Yeah.
You know, it's all semantics. It's all about how precise do you want to be in the words that you're using. If you want to be a little bit vague and say flat, well, we know it has mountains and valleys, but we're going to call it flat anyway. Go for it. If that's what you want to do, fine. But why are you forcing? Why are you, trying to belittle people and make them feel bad for not doing the same? Like, you know better. You guys are no better than the people we're trying to, extract our brains from. The brainwashing, the tactics they use to get you to, comply and think along those lines, because otherwise you're going to feel, stupid. Everyone's going to point and laugh. This is terrible, terrible behavior.
You're absolutely right. It's another iteration of the same thing.
Absolutely. The teachers, the ball believes, oh, you're just a fucking idiot if you don't believe the ball. Oh, well, you're just a fucking idiot if you don't think you can do something with an angle, with just one angle. It's exactly the same thing.
Can you believe that there's, that flat out guy? The really weird one. He's calling us Masons.
Masons, no way.
Yeah.
That's the first. I've been called a lot of things, but never that.
I've been called a lot of things, but never a Mason. So what is he? Yeah, what? Okay, well, I'm thinking there's something fishy about you now, mate.
Well, yeah, I did ban him. I did ban him because he talks shit. I mean, there are a load of people right now, especially when Cleary said that last night as well, that, they're all working and researching us and trying to fucking manipulate all of the situations like they're some sort of puppeteers messing about with fucking people's lives and pretending they are. There's a group of people that are literally trying to manipulate or thinking that they can manipulate what goes on in this server. And that's only because they assume that they manipulate all the rest of the things. And they're trying to assume that they can do the same here. Well, they don't. They don't control us. They like to think they do. And they think they can manipulate stuff from chats and stuff, comments. Nice try, guys. You've been exposed. The whole thing's been exposed. It's a fucking big Psy-Op. And we're going to show everybody the contradictions that you've forced everybody into. We'll see how many people can actually see them. I don't think there'll be that many. I think there's that many people that have been hypnotized. They've been programmed into it. But hopefully that'll be inverted, right? There will be questions coming for the people that claim they can do things with angles. Like, the questions will be coming. Like, what do you do with an angle? Let the insanity ensue. I'm okay. I know what reality is. I know that you can do fuck all with an angle. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with knowing. What's everybody else's faith like? Who has the most faith? Who has the most faith in the angle? The flat earth debate guys or the blue marble science guys?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Celestial navigation. It's about time. McToon got his way, isn't it? McToon versus 10th Man. The battle of celestial navigation. The things you can do with an angle. Let's start getting it built out. Let's have it going. It's about time. Well, we could join in as well and say you can do fuck all. I'd be quite happy to be there as that mediator in the middle. The battles of the two tides.
Three-way debate.
Well, no, I think we'd just have to be able to see. We'd have to judge them on how inventive they were of things you can do with an angle.
Who can come up with the best wizardry?
Yeah. Yeah, we could just have the logical, realistic approach of us in the middle, saying that you've just got an angle. You can't do fuck all with it.
But then they just add triangles and squares around it and say, but we are doing something with it now.
Interesting. Let's get that build up. Let's get that one sorted. The Celestial Showdown. Celestial Navigational Showdown. Start off with an angle and then go from there. Blue Marble Scientists versus Flat Earth Debate. Supermen. Or do you reckon they'll pick a particular Superman champion? Or will it be the entire Superman squad?
Yeah, one of them has to be the leader, and then they can have all their little, like Batman and Robin, they have their little sidekicks.
Uh-huh. What about you, Blue? Who would Blue have?
Like Owen as the leader, can you? You got to put the right people.
Well, obviously, the strongest celestial navigationalist would have to be out front. But probably the whole team would have to sort out with Blue. Who do you think would be the blue marble sign? Do you reckon they'd have Betty? Betty would have to be on the celestial navigation team.
They got to have spaghetti geometry man.
Spaghetti science.
Oh, he's brilliant. I can science that. That's him. Brilliant. Like, man, holy shit, I was just enthralled by your demonstration, dude. Amazing stuff.
I would say Ruhif, but he's gone.
Oh, I bet Ruhif would come back. Big Flat Earth Society. A chance. Be able to talk to his old mates. Who else do you reckon they'd have to have? I don't think Sleeping Warrior would be allowed on the team. He's got nothing to do with celestial navigation. Doesn't really understand logic and geometry, so...
He'd start talking about gravity.
Yeah, it'd be a liability for distraction. But maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need somebody to distract so they don't have to address the issue. Well, it's been an interesting show today, hasn't it? 3 hours. It's only 11 o'clock. I don't know whether we've got anything done. We're getting to the point that this is going to be a... well, it's not really going to be a goodbye, is it? Since there's so much hilarity to be had. Once we've spotted now these contradictions. I think our main job from now on will just be to present these contradictions to people and see how the discussion goes, because that's all they are. They're just talking points, conversational pieces, a way to introduce a very simple conversation through geometry and logic, and linking together the two within a form of rhetoric where you can present these geometric proofs through logic to people as you're talking to them. Sometimes somebody might think you're a bit intelligent as well. You might be teaching people things that they didn't actually know.
Because that's what
Go on.
That's what I liked the most about talking to you was like when I was first coming in and I was learning the arguments, every time you would try and use an argument with a baller, you'd just get labelled, a Nathan Parrott or whatever. So I always had a problem with needing to use somebody else's argument. I wanted something that I had realised for myself without somebody else ever pointing it out or whatever. And I got that. I didn't get that from Nathan. What I got from Nathan was basically told, here is the argument. We say it works if you do it exactly this way. And if you don't, we're going to attack you for it. And I don't want to use their arguments. They can use their arguments. They're their arguments. Like, why can't I go off and think about things a different way and come to conclusions a different way with things I've realised for myself without being told I'm a spastic for doing that,
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much, Paige. But that's dead right, isn't it? Finding the stuff for yourself.
Yeah, I realised something. When that light bulb went off, it was so much better than the light bulbs I'd had from being told something, and it just made so many other things click into place after that. Start thinking about what vertical actually is, and you start thinking about the relationships it has with other things, why it's only that orientation, why things have to be that way. And it was just one thing after another, and it came from inside me, looking at Rumpus's diagram, just sitting there looking at it going, okay, if that's vertical, then what the hell's that that's tilted off at a 25, 30 degree angle? And it was fantastic. So it expanded something. So yeah, thank you, Bev. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I keep wanting to be able to present that, right? But in order for me to present Paige's proof, you have to tilt a vertical, which I think is ridiculous. I don't like doing that sort of thing. So it only really comes apparent when you see a ridiculous, it's like a reducto ad absurdum, isn't it? Right? It's a logical argument framed around a reducto ad absurdum, whereas you have to have perpendiculars being perpendicular but not perpendicular. That's the reducto ad absurdum within that thing.
Yeah, that's what it gets down to, doesn't it?
Don't forget to sprinkle in a little bit of vacuous truth from there.
Yeah, we've had them.
You won't be able to detect it because it's negligible. I mean, it's not really there, but it's there.
Godzilla's wrapping Christmas presents.
Yeah, speaking of negligible, they were talking about parallel rays before. And I asked them, are they parallel? Well, they're almost. What do you mean by almost? Well, almost. Almost what? Well, there's so much that they're undetectable. So, in other words, parallel. No. They're off by 0.000. So not parallel. No. It's like, wow, man.
Diletheism's unreal, isn't it?
That's exactly what I told him, bro. This is classical diletheism you are displaying here. Then he proceeded to make a graph and make a presentation and show that, and the lines were parallel that he drew. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, what an interesting couple of days. Interesting month, maybe. Yeah.
Well, I'd say since it was Christmas last year, I think, Logic. Geos.
New Year's Logic. Yeah.
But the logic led us to the proof, and then from then on in, it's been a general discovery that logic is the anti-bullshit thing, right?
Oh,
you
sorry,
can
I meant
spot bullshit.
Yeah, I meant proof. We started it off with proof. Remember the proof project, and that led to the logic after. But the New Year's was about proof.
Yeah, but it came on the back of the logic, right? Logic led us to all of this. If anybody's listening now, right, and they're wondering what... This has been a process of a group of people on a journey of discovery of the simple things in life. We've just gone and made stuff as simple as possible. What we do here isn't complicated. The fact that Nathan Oakley and Blue Marble Science and Brian's Logic and QE and Rumpus, all of those people have to just confuse and obfuscate the issues. They have to misrepresent how simple our arguments are. They have to misrepresent the arguments to start off with. And the arguments that we have here are rock solid. They can't be beaten. They're that simple, they can be taught to anybody, even a child. And they cannot be rebutted. It's no big deal. It's just reality. But get ready to have your eyes opened. You'll be wondering why nobody else told you this simple stuff. You'll be wondering why, if it's so simple, why did nobody point it out to you? How did you not see it yourself? It's a massive trick. It's a massive Psy-Op. Everybody's been part of it within this entire arena. Compliant, maybe just sort of useful idiots. Maybe some people have been tricked into it for all of this time. Maybe some people have been lying and deceiving to you for all of this time, stringing you along. Who knows? And who's the only one that can sort it out? It's you, the individual. Not me. Nobody else can do it. Time for everybody to make their own realizations about things. And if you like living in a fantasy, creating paracosms with you and your friends, then there are other places that you can. But if you want to be challenged, you want to have your eyes opened, come on in. It's nothing to get upset about.
That might be the point. It's a lot easier for people just to take something that's given to them. You know, just hand them and they go and they just read it out. Oh, yep, da, 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 da. But you make people actually think about the things. You know, you don't give them you don't give them any hints or anything. You know? It's really awesome to listen to. But you know, the other guys just want to hand you what look how good I am. I made this argument. Here, you take it. You go out and argue it because I'm so clever I made it. And it's like, well, okay, you've got your argument. You go and use it then.
Yeah, that's what we're all up for, that sort of debate thing. That's the challenge of the arguments. Who has the best argument? I mean, I'd still like to go with it. I mean, Brian and the guys at Flat Earth Debate Crew, the society guys, they definitely seem to have a proof. Well, let's put it up against our proof. Let's go proof for proof. Let's put them up against each other. Let's have a discussion. Maybe not a discussion, a presentation. Let's put our proofs live up against each other. Call it a debate, but it's a presentation of a logical proof, a presentation of a proof for certain things.
I wish they'd see it more as trying to steel man for each other rather than attack each other. Like, you know, come and show us your proof, put it up against ours so that we can grow each other and find any little chinks in the armor. You know what I mean? Like, they need to stop thinking that we want to do this because we're trying to undermine them. That's what he said, wasn't it? We're trying to undermine his argument. Like, oh my goodness, no. No.
Yeah, where would you get that idea from?
Yeah,
Like,
where on
ridiculous.
earth that idea from? That is awful. No, we're not trying to do that at all.
But in a similar sort of way, the Blue Marble Science guys could say that us mentioning that vertical and horizontal are perpendicular is undermining their particular argument also, right? Because it is. It's an inconvenient truth statement that undermines their argument. So the statement, you can do fuck all with an angle, obviously undermines their argument because their fallacious argument is based upon them drawing a triangle, not an angle. I can understand why he gets upset. Why he wants to completely point everybody in a completely different direction. He can't address the fact that they're manufacturing triangles out of thin air.
Definitely, if you have counter argument, it means that you are undermining opponent's argument. It doesn't mean that you are undermining his personality, but just argument. That's all. It should be done in discussion.
Yeah, that's the idea of the argument, isn't it? Put up for discussion.
They should be free to discuss our arguments, and we should be free to discuss theirs without any hostility. There should be no hostility. And if you see a fault in an argument on either side, you can tell the person, hey, how about this?
You know, Nathan says that's what he's doing, that it doesn't matter what side you're on. If he sees a flaw, you know, a fallacy, whatever, he's going to call you out on it. Fair enough. That's not the issue. The issue is how he goes about it, you know, rather than having an adult discussion and having some constructive criticism, or saying, you know, hey, look, this is the way I see it. You know, even if he goes to the length of saying, you know, look, I really do believe that this undermines my argument, and it puts me in a difficult position with the Globers, or, you know, whatever it is, because I really don't know what his problem is, but I don't see why that's so hard. Why does it automatically have to be that you're fucking stupid, shut the fuck up, you know, mute, scream, and then some weird, gross sexual shit on top of it? Like, man, that's fucking weird.
It was instead of rebuttal. If you have no rebuttal, you have two ways: or shut up, or just going into ad homs. So Nathan prefers going into ad homs.
He enjoys it.
And he admitted that he enjoys that. But Nathan also has a double standard, because if it is fair that he has right to refute others' arguments, he would agree on that situation, that his arguments can be put into investigation and rebuttal. But for him, it seems that it works only one way. That it's only him who has right to rebut others' argument, not him.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not fair for me.
Well, that's flat earth debate, isn't it? I mean, he made it. The entire flat earth debate arena, that's of his making. So he can make the rules. He can tell you what an ad hom is. An ad hom's anything that you do, not anything that he ever does. Them's the rules.
Could it be that he gets into character, like he's made a character when he first started the show? You know, when he realized that kind of behavior worked and people were watching more and, you know, enjoyed, because it did get to the point where the flat earthers just wanted the ballers to be smacked upside the head because they're just being stupid, you know, and he started doing that and everyone was, yes, this is exactly what we need. But it's like now that character, it's not a character anymore, you know, it's like this actually might be him.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, he did say he got angry when he apologised to Rob Keane for shouting at everybody. When he did that, he did say he got angry. He was really angry. Now, that can't have been a character if he's actually admitting to being actually angry.
Good point. Yeah, real emotion is not present in an acting situation because you're acting. So it's not real emotion. It's acting emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, which he admits that he does, right? There are times when you've heard him. He switches it on and off, right? So there are times where he doesn't, but he did admit that he did get angry about that. So whatever I was doing in saying that you can do fuck all with an angle actually made him really angry.
Yeah.
And I believe most of that stuff where he was getting off at it, I think that was real as well. I think, you know, part of the same thing.
I think that came out because of the anger. You know, he's in the middle of it. The blood's pumping. You know, he's got all these. He's thinking, I've got to keep control. You know, and he's just muting you every second. As soon as he hears your voice, mute, so he can scream the same thing again, because it's this, you know, automatic thing that he's gotten in the habit of doing. So
he gets angry, but he enjoys it. He enjoys
that's why he
getting
doesn't stop
angry.
himself
Yeah.
enjoying it. He can't extract himself, look down and go, oh, geez, this situation doesn't look too good. What the fuck am I doing? You know?
That's what his fans want, though, obviously. They want that as part of the flat earth debate style.
Yeah, and that's obvious because, a lot of people enjoy it. I mean, I'll admit, I got to the stage where that's all I wanted to see was them be told off. You know, you guys need to just be told off. You're being stupid. But it just seems to have gone to an extreme that makes me very uncomfortable.
Well, I think, right, there's no globe, there's no blue marble scientists going over there, right? So he needs this, right? He needs to have his anger fueled by somebody. So he's just roaming round now, finding, misrepresenting things in order to find himself getting angry so he can get himself off. That's the way I see this situation at the minute. And it's like it's going to be a downward spiral because every now and again, Nathan's going to need to be able to feel that adrenaline rush again. He feels good about calling people names. Gets him off. He enjoys it.
Kind of like a Napoleon complex?
Well, who's going to be the next person, right? I mean, is he just going to continue having a go at me for no reason? Right? Misrepresenting geometric statements about fucking straight lines. I mean,
that's why I'm interested to see where this goes, like what he's actually going to do now.
Interesting to find out where we are going from here and who he's going to have a go at next time. Likely to be anybody.
It'll probably be me now. Now that I've actually said something, out loud, like with other people can hear, not just you guys.
Nah, he'll go quiet for a bit. He'll do a few videos about Nathan. Or, he'll just do videos given to him about NDT, Bill Nye,
I hope
or whatever.
That I'm only doing the same thing he thinks he's doing. That when I see something that's wrong, I feel the need to say something. So, if he has a problem with that, well, I'm sorry.
Yep. If you see a contradiction, point it out. Nobody wants to live a life with a contradiction. Point it out to them. Let them know. Maybe they're not aware about it. Maybe they could have this state of confusion, not understanding what's going on, until you point out to them that there's a contradiction there. Might help them sort their head out. It's well worth doing. Keep an eye out for any contradictions that you might see. Fallacious thinking. It never serves anybody well. Always worthwhile. Very friendship sort of orientated thing. It's an honesty thing as well. You can't really leave people with contradictions. That's not friendly at all. It's how you deceive people. Slipping by a contradiction. It would be like somebody, like when you get taught the times tables as a child. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times D. It's just a repetitive thing. Well, what if somebody put a wrong number in there and made you say it?
Yeah, you'd just parrot it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Like, would you know? Nobody's ever taught you the process to do it. They just teach you to parrot it. Well, isn't that the same as this? If nobody actually goes over the conversation, the argument, the logical process, the method that's used, if nobody actually does that honestly with you, then you're no better than somebody parroting misconceptions. Don't just believe what other people tell you about people as well. Go and actually talk to them. Believing misconceptions taught by others is paralogisms. You don't want to be doing that. You end up believing in things like a blue marble scientific method where there's no proof. Imagine a science without proof. Well, that's blue marble science for you. A system of knowledge based entirely on not proof. Not that.
Assumption upon assumption upon assumption.
They go so far as to tell us we need to prove that every horizontal is parallel to another horizontal, rather than them just coming with the proof that they're not. There's somewhere where...
We do have a proof. It's a dead simple one. All horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. So geometrically, there's a geometric procedure that you can tell that all of the horizontals are parallel to each other. It's provable. It's geometric proof. They are provably parallel to each other. Literally, real proof.
Yeah, somehow they're saying that's not enough. You actually have to go out and measure those horizontals and show them that they're parallel.
I know.
Like, how crazy.
QE's saying the same thing as well.
Who?
QE. He said we haven't got an argument. He's completely gone over the fact that we do actually have arguments that prove this shit. He's just blatantly being dishonest about it. He's deceiving people. Yeah, Flat Earth Society, man.
And by the way, QE also is contradicting himself, because he is talking about scientific method, which is good. All right, that's all right. But at the same time, he's talking about quantum physics, which completely denies, generally speaking, this scientific method, because quantum physics is based on probability, not on actual experiment or visible experiment. So he's contradicting. I cannot understand why he's holding two contradictory positions in so-called science, scientific method and quantum physics. These two are mutually exclusive. But yes, he's living with contradictions.
Yep.
I don't know why he's doing that.
Because they all have to. I think it's part of the deal to be part of the club. You have to have a contradiction. If you don't have that contradiction, you're not allowed in. Because it means that you can have your mind broken dealing with that contradiction. It's a little sign that you are part of the programmed or the programmable, let's say. Because there are people out here that are unbreakable, right? You can't be hypnotized. There are people who can be hypnotized, obviously. People that can be hypnotized easily. And some people that cannot be hypnotized. Who are you? Which one are you? How easily are we done? How easily are you influenced by people?
Can you imagine well, I won't say we, I'll say me. I question the greatest scientists alive, you know, Einstein, you know, some other ones which we won't mention, but these big names, right? And how dare us question some other people's ideas? Like, really? Is this where we've come? Like, we wail about the dogma of the ballers and this and that, but yet when we have an idea and someone questions it, how dare they? Really? That doesn't sound right, man. Not at all.
Yes, and I don't bother with that. So, because obviously, if you are, if you have objection against, for example, this general relativity or whatever, you are ipso facto, you are denying authority of Einstein. If you are denying or undermining his theory, it means that you are undermining his authority, and you have right to do that.
I do it all the time.
Yes,
yeah.
But this body of science is now trying to convince people that you have no right to do that. Because because what? Because why? I don't know. And I don't care about that. And I am undermining everyone's authority if I can spot contradiction or fallacy. It doesn't matter if I'm talking to professor, president, king, or whatever. If he is holding contradiction, I will spot this and I will say it to his face. Sorry.
Amen.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's
Hear, hear.
2023. That's what we've got coming. Spotting contradictions. Wow. Thank you. Christmas. Thank you, Skeptic. No bad blood. There's no sides for any of this. All we're after is the honest truth being able to come out. I don't like people being deceived. And I don't like people being lied to. People, everybody knows that they can come and have a discussion about truth and reality here. And they'll get a first say. I don't think anybody needs to be doing all of that fucking ridiculous shit. And purposely, I don't like people talking to women like that. So we have another problem with somebody else who talks to Emma like that. Seems like there's part of a group of people that definitely go against Emma. And I've noticed it with Paige too. These sort of men aren't welcome around. But anybody wants to come and have a conversation, that's what we're here for. And it is Christmas. Some people maybe just need to have a chat with somebody about something. Don't be confused about shit. Try and sort it out. Don't live with confusion. Don't live with contradictions.
Okay, I am off to bed.
Okay. Thank you,
very much.
Paper.
Good night, Paper.
Is it? It's only Wednesday. Yeah, it's hard work trying to work out what we're doing. I definitely, this logic thing has been the major growth within me. Knowing that we weren't in here.
Get out of here too.
All right.
I gotta go change a starter in a foot of snow.
All the best. See you tomorrow.
Oh, that was Rob, huh?
Yeah.
I missed the thing. Good night, Rob.
He's got to go and do some
Bye. Good night, Rob.
Staring at brake pads.
It's got to stare at some brake pads.
It's going to go outside to stare at some brake pads.
Yeah, damn cold now. Put your jacket on, bro.
Yeah, I don't think Paper had an argument against quantum. He's just pointing out that if he ever sees a contradiction, then it's our job to point it out. And there probably is a contradiction within the fact of quantum and the scientific method. Obviously. Relativity's another one on its own, isn't it? Everything's relative to everything. Always has been. Always will be. The unit circle. Straight line. All of the sides of a triangle are relative to the other sides of the triangle. It's always been there, right? The truth's always there. Right in front of your faces. But you've just been taught to be distracted. Not see that. Look at the fantasy. Imagine the fantasy. Imagine an argument against the fantasy. Simple arguments from reality are the most effective. But nobody wants you to see them.
Einstein was responsible for completely decoupling us from reality and bringing us into La La Land, into fantasy zone, where brothers age differently because of speed and gravity and the relativity and all this. Well, they hijacked that word, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy was crazy.
Yep.
He's absolutely mad. And then what they did, instead of turning Einstein into insane person, they turned it into genius. And there is a fine line between insane and genius. And it just goes to show how easily people have been led to believe that name now signifies brilliance. When you have to be mad. Yeah, I know, that's what I mean. Like in reality, right, all they've done is they've give you an idea that Einstein means genius. But think about it. What's he got you to do? It's got you to accept fucking ridiculous things. It's all a fantasy. And whether people want to accept it in the mind. I can't. I can only go with my logical knowings about reality. I know for a fact you cannot predicate on something that doesn't exist. So therefore I know any argument that's ever made in reality will have to exist in reality. That's why people get upset with us, isn't it?
Yeah. Surely if we can question Newton, Einstein, and all these greats, their ideas and their, surely we can question each other's, right? I hope so. I mean, what the heck?
It's going to be a good year to come. I don't know how we're going to present it, though. That's the thing.
What effect did he have on humanity? He had zero effect on humanity, except to make us believe in crazy, crazy things.
Sugar cookie. I asked QE and Nathan last year on one of their shows if they had any logical or scientifically formulated proof for their sextant argument. Still waiting.
Yep. I think QE actually tasked Adam with that. If I remember correctly.
Do we might have to go over that. What can you remember what it was called? Is that the one where we went over there? Is that Adam? We got a problem.
Yeah, it was before that. Yeah, it was before that. Because I think it was what's it called? Ball busters. Yeah, because I was trying to understand the dip angle, and I think I said something to the effect of, to me that inherently insinuates curve. And so they explained like, oh, well, I see what you're saying, but no, it's just you bringing yourself down to the base of basically the water from the boat or whatever. So, it was a cool experience to be on their show or whatever and talking to them. I don't do that stuff very often. Hardly ever. And so it's kind of like, okay, super nervous, but whatever. And it was cool to kind of interact with them in that way, because they weren't being dicks. They were actually taking on the questions and stuff like that. But it was cool because I was able to ask questions, first of all, and because that's what I was trying to figure out, because that was around the time of, still kind of going over for myself, still going over the Black Swan and formulating that logical statement around that. And then trying to match that up in some way with the thing that QE always kind of goes for, and Nathan, it's the scientific method. And I guess I had a small contention in there, and in that, like, isn't just using something and saying that, showing a thing works and then saying something else like the earth is flat, it seems like that's the same thing that happens on the baller side of things, quote unquote baller side of things, where they say, the horizon, therefore earth is curved or whatever it is, or the gyroscope, the rotation of that at 15 degrees, therefore earth is curved. So to me, it was kind of the same thing. And I was trying to get some clarity on that. And I thought if there was a logically formulated argument or a scientifically formulated argument, it would kind of remove that kind of barrier in my mind to, like, okay, well, that argument would go, the sextant argument would go along with the rest of the other types of argument, like air pressure without a container and the if P then Q statements for the Black Swan, but they didn't have one for the sextant. So that's why I wrote that, because I'm still waiting. Adam's obviously slacking. But yeah, that was the same day then.
Yeah.
Adam's same day.
Oh, because he goes, oh, sugar cookie, I missed you. Right? He was remembering you. Yeah, it makes sense now. Yeah.
Obviously, he called me a dumbass right out of the gate. Yeah. Well, that's because QE couldn't figure out the difference between level and flat. So I asked him if vertical is flat, and that set him for a spiral, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The hands. Yeah.
Weird conversations that we've had, right? There are some strange conversations.
these things are very triggering, you know? And when egos get in the way, people sometimes are afraid to say, maybe I should rethink that one.
Yeah, I think the simplest we could try to make it for him was there's a shelf on the wall and that shelf is flat, but if you tilt it, it's still flat, not horizontal. Or a wall is flat, but that's vertical, or a window flat.
Well, I was talking about Nathan's ego there, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that was the same day when they ended up getting all puckered up.
Yeah.
Look, sometimes you don't see something right away, you know? Sometimes it takes a while for it to sink in.
I know it does for me. A lot of stuff does.
Right. I think. Go on. Sorry.
I was going to say it. Sometimes a lot of stuff for me takes a little while to sink in because some of the stuff that we go over here, just kind of talking back and forth, like not on a show or whatever. It's like, well, wait a second. Didn't that, no, well, I go back and forth in my own mind and kind of verbalize it with you guys. And you're like, oh shit. Yeah, you're right. It is simple. Just unfuck your brain, untwist your brain from a lot of stuff. And it's like, oh, well, wait a second. That makes total sense.
Yeah, logic will free you and it will help you see. I mean, like, sometimes you might not be wanting to find out that somebody's right in front of you has been lying. Well, not lying, but deceiving you. Just start spotting bullshit everywhere. It can be a little bit lonely place, especially if the people around you are terrible bullshitters. You might not want to see it in people. It can be awkward. It can be you might not want to see it. But you might have already known about it anyway. All of those things that just didn't seem right. They didn't seem to fit. Maybe they're contradictions. Maybe just with looking at it from a different perspective, you might be able to understand and see the contradictions. Make sense out of things.
Yeah, it's kind of like it goes hand in hand with the ECV idea.
Yeah. You should never hide things from yourself, and that's why you need people around you that can challenge you. If you never get challenged, then you can let your ego grow. And that's never a good thing. I think we're going to end it here. It's been a fucking good day. Thank you very much, people. I don't know what we're going to be going over. I'm guessing similar to this. It's going to be, we're rounding this year off by hopefully opening people's eyes to the reality that's around and how this simplicity works. Let's start the conversations. Anybody got any other final words? I'll get a Buster song ready. Oh, in fact, we'll do Logos again. Thank you very much for joining us, people. This has been a very good night, and thanks for all of the super chats. Everybody that sends that, thank you very much. Much appreciated. We don't want any drama. But we do want conversation, and we do want people to have clarity within arguments, and we do like the discussions about the arguments. Don't get upset. Come and have a conversation. Join us tomorrow. Hopefully we'll do similar.
It's the echo in your brain. You know you can't sustain the misconceptions in your mind. One day you'll see for sure what all of this was for. Then you can leave it all behind. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. In the beginning was found this thing that cannot speak. It's how we all truly learn. It's only ever attained when one lets go of fear. So don't let wisdom pass you by. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. It was there all along. How could I never have seen this thing that's danced all around? It wasn't until I left behind the things I believed that I could see things so clear. The journey begins. Become the one, yeah, that will show the proof. Become the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. Become the whispers of the logic in their mind. Become an agent of the Logos. Become an agent of the Logos. We are the agents of the Logos.